All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? It's been a little while since we've had you here in the Nova Cup. I believe November was the last time I saw your beautiful faces all here in the Twitch chat. I am very, very pleased to have you all back here again for the January Nova Cup, the first of our 2023 series of Novas, and I just know that it's going to be insane. So here with me is none other than Offmer. Hello, Offmer. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Looking
Amazing.
forward to exciting start to the year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is going to be a pretty cool tournament. Our first matchup, we've got Shadow Wings and Gachachis, and they're going to be playing against Otika and Dryuzaki, which is a pretty exciting matchup. I play those
pretty
guys
juicy.
quite often on the ladder, and it's always fun. Like the Japanese duo are really, really good fun. Me and Green always try to do some very garbled Japanese in the old chat whenever we play those guys, and they're just a really good laugh. So hopefully they can give us a show today. And Shadow Wings, of course, is a man who needs no introduction. He has been very successful on the ladder and has had some solid performances in previous Nova Cups. Gatachi's a bit of a newcomer to the Nova Cup scene. I think he's actually a former StarCraft 2 pro or semi-professional in that game, which is pretty impressive. So let's see how he can make the transition over to Legion TD2. And great that he's got such an experienced teammate there with Shadow Wings as well. So I think this should be a pretty exciting matchup. Either way, do you have any favourites?
I mean, I gotta give it to Shadow Wings. He's rank 1 on the ladder for a reason right now.
Is he ranked 1 now as well? Yeah. I mean, this is
Popping
definitely a
off.
meta, I think, which is well suited to Shadow. You know, he's a bit of a Starve Lord, and this meta is definitely Starve friendly. But he's just a tactical mastermind, right? Like he's a very clever guy. He can plan out 10 waves in advance, and I think that's a bit of a specialty of his. So yeah, this meta plays to his strengths for sure, though.
Yeah, he's got great reads of how the game's gonna play out from the mid game on.
And
Go
ahead.
No, I was gonna say Guitarchi's actually played against him in the December Legion League, the kind of for fun tournament we had in place for December.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good.
Nice.
He played pretty respectfully.
That was good.
Went to 3 games versus him, so
Yeah.
looking forward to see what he has in a non-pick ban format.
I think it's probably fair to say Gatachi is maybe the least experienced in this lobby, but then Shadow Wings is by far the most experienced. So it's kind of a case where the Doomsday duo are both they're both solid players, but they're not quite, I would say, on the level of Shadow Wings. So it's quite an interesting matchup, actually. Like, can 2 solid players overcome maybe a one very high skill player and one more medium skill player in Gatachi? It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and they definitely have a little more experience playing together, so maybe they can leverage that to their advantage.
Yeah. And what's really interesting for me as well is like Gatachi's clearly no stranger to competition, right? Like he's been a StarCraft professional. He's played very high caliber tournaments over there. Finished rank 1 ladder, GM, StarCraft 2, obviously in NA, so it doesn't really count. But but yeah,
well, we Americans settle for something, you know.
He's a god gamer, let's say. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So let's see how well he transitions to Legion. I'm sure he's got a trick or two up his sleeve to show us. All right, we are in the lobby, guys. We just wish luck to the teams. But yeah, it's kind of great to be back in Nova Cup, actually. Like 2 months is a long time with no tournament action. So this is some pretty good hype for the Legion scene. This is something that keeps us going. A good, solid, competitive tournament at the end of every month. Maybe Offmer, it can persuade you to get back into the game. Yeah, I was on your
I'm looking
profile
forward to
earlier
it.
looking for the stats, and it's just so hard. Like, how am I supposed to write a bio for someone who's only played 4 games, man? Come
I,
on.
I, I, I doubled my sample size for
Yeah,
you yesterday, but it
yeah,
wasn't enough.
it wasn't enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, the time for talking is over because here we go. Game number 1 of the January Nova Cup. It is Shacheesy Wings versus the Doomsday Duo. Let's get it on.
Yeah, I'm curious what Mastermind Shadow will pick since he's got every single one at his disposal. Cash out for Guitar Cheese, cash out for Vodka, Greed for Chisaki.
Yeah. Can you give us a bit of an overview of the 3 Legion spells, Offmer? What kind of
Yeah, sure.
game plan do you expect when you see those 3 spells in the game?
Vampire, Protector, PTA. So, I mean, Protector and Vampire aren't the strongest defensive spells. They're not bad on 11. So, we could see someone trying to work with the PTA. But in terms of Vampire and Protector, that's really just looking for some scaling builds that use the synergy as well. So, like, your Doppel, your Dread Knight, your Avenger, those kinds of units will be very strong, and we already see the Butcher plus the Dread Knight for Guitar Cheese, so that
Yeah.
might be something pretty strong this game.
And both members of Doomsday having Butcher and Avenger as well, so they've got some solid options. But you maybe don't want to have both players on the same build, right? Because then you share the same weak waves.
Yeah, Zaki looks like he needs in desperate need of a reroll, but it looks like he's willing to see what happens.
Also, this was something that Shadow talked about pre-tournament. He's playing Lock-in Looter for the treasure hunt. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, I mean, honestly, rats are in a very good spot right now, so not surprised at all.
Yeah.
You can do some ridiculous things, and you'll just be ahead and be holding. As long as you have good reads on the game, obviously. Rats aren't easy to play, necessarily. They can really be kind of uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
If you don't know the lines and the gold thresholds very well. So, like, cheap early game units are pretty good with them because they let you fill in the gaps with the gold differences, but like we're gonna see Shadow be able to send easily send 60 if he wants on to.
And this should be really scary for Dryuzaki as well. Like, he skips wave 1, he goes for the super long wave with the Windhawk leak on wave 1, double treasure hunted rat, there's his 60 Mythia, like you said. And Dryuzaki, who opened Butcher, by the way. Holy moly.
Yeah, and he has the worst gold of all time
He
now.
can't do anything with 84 gold. Did he not get enough for a snail? So that he could have got
Yeah,
the
I think he was.
coiler out?
I think it was 19.
Oh, but look,
so-
Shadow's not sending here. 60 would have
He has the
absolutely
tech.
devastated Dryuzaki.
Well, he's gonna be thinking his lucky stars.
Yeah,
'cause-
but how well is he going to do against an 80 or...
yeah,
it's gonna be
I
80
think the
plus,
Dino
right,
will
on
do
free.
fine.
Yeah.
Probably.
Shadow gets the snail send here, but with a Windhawk and a Pack Rat, he should be absolutely fine.
Yep.
There's the Brute pre-income for Shadow. He'll be able to send a snail post as well. There's the veteran, okay. So, lifesteal veteran for Dryuzaki, giving some ability. He's even
Oh
boosting it.
my lord.
Oh, that's a big
Alright.
commitment, though. I mean, sure, it's strong on the wave, but that's
Yeah.
25 gold. Remember, she boosted last wave as well.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so here's the 80 send onto Shadow. A lot probably depends on this Brute. Okay, the Brute does not go straight on the Veteran. The Veteran's going to
bit
just
more fun.
absolutely clean up the wave with that boost. It does so much damage this early on in the game. And with the lifesteal as well, I think it should just be able to keep itself alive against the Brute in the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh.
that is a hold for
Pretty good.
Dryuzaki. Oh, maybe she leaks the Brute actually on
Oh,
HP.
actually.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Oh, Shadow leaking no send, and Dryuzaki holds. Okay, she does kill the Brute
That
there.
is
Very close.
Very
race.
important.
Yeah. No, that's kind of rough for Shadow, honestly. Like, He went on for a bit of an all-in play there with the 80 send on 3, not getting a leak, but Dryuzaki did spend 25 gold to make that happen, remember, on the boosts.
Yeah, and if you look at the total Mythium, Shadow is still ahead, so he can't feel too bad, even though he lost the income from the Brute.
Yeah. Total Mythium
He's
is
still going to
actually
be a pretty good...
pretty solid.
Wait, he's double hunting here? Okay.
Oh, he gets a dino.
I thought he wasn't building for a second. So he gets 100 cents. That's pretty rough.
He's still going to
really have a way
really
to kill
hard,
Dino,
right? Because the Neko is just on the dino. I don't even know if he kills the dino.
Let's hope that he does.
How many stacks on that Neko? It is a 4-stacked cat. Oh, this is going to be close. If this dino survives, this is crushing for Shadow, and it does. Oh, Shadow, no, that's 125% leak. Man.
Yeah.
Itachi, sure he holds, but this is one dead Sakura in the mid.
Yeah, that's tough. Just losing a Sakura stack before 5 means that you're not cleanly killing the 5 creeps.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So they're gonna go for a... Yeah, I mean, Guitarchi's on 8 workers, so he's actually quite ahead of the curve.
Yeah. 515 value on Shadow. There are resends from Dryuzaki and Otaka, but it's only income. And Dryuzaki, okay, she goes for the Wanderer there, but it's not on the Butcher Aura. So yeah, it's going to tank the boss, but it doesn't have that lifesteal ability.
It's I don't think it's tanking the boss. I think this Peewee is going to tank the boss.
Oh, it's an even split. Yeah, I thought that was a half square down, but no. This is pretty bad.
Yeah, and the Wanderer gets straight focused by the Brute.
So the Wanderer
I think we might see a
a
Scorpion King incident here.
Yeah.
And on the other side, it's double Brutes and no real answer.
And Dryuzaki won't kill the boss here. She forgot to add something to kill the Scorpion on 5. A cardinal error, if you will.
Yeah, 3 Brutes and the boss and this many... This is actually like, what, like 70% King, maybe more?
I think this is infinite King damage, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And this is... And we all know that even... They won't die because they have tenacity, but the next send will almost surely kill them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Shadow and Guitarchis now are just absolutely free to save for many, many waves. I'm kind of surprised that that only did 60% damage, actually. I thought they would be on like 20% or so.
I guess before tenacity, that might have actually just
killed it. Yeah.
Ended the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Figure out what they got in plan for us now. Everyone going for a butcher here, a butcher there.
Yeah. We just have random butchers in the middle, like buffing nothing. So we have one butcher buffing a veteran, one butcher buffing a steed. This is interesting for sure.
I don't think Guitarchi is gonna get out the Dread Knight. I mean, they are going for the send here, so that's understandable. Yeah. Maybe now he has gold to add something.
I think Guitarchi's never gets the Dread Knight on 7. He doesn't have close to enough gold. He'd have to sell a lot.
Yeah, he is. He's quite pushed. So that's understandable. He is on value though. Oh, he goes Zerker. Okay, sure.
He's on value, but his value's very bad on this wave. The Sakura obviously is like negative value here. Same with the Butcher. The Berserker's not much better. I think he can
lack of damage
even though he's only receiving a dino.
Yeah, he's on value, just fake value.
Shadow is definitely going to hold though. Shadow is not hunting his rats here. He's plus 135 value. He's only receiving a Cannoneer. So pretty much regardless, Shadow will cover this wave. And we have Friends on 7 for the Doomsday duo. Let's see how these guys handle the Brutes.
Yeah, one friend down. This always happens with Coiler. Like if you get 2 sends or like you could send an imp, like the guy on the left is, or usually the left is always getting snacked by the Coiler. And this Coiler is extremely aware and goes for snacking on both of them. So this is going to be an easy hold.
Oh wow, that is a clutch hold actually for Dryuzaki, because if she leaked here with Otaka leaking 59% as well, they could almost just be dead.
Yeah, for sure. The king is a lot weaker to these small-ish leaks.
Yeah.
In the early game. And we see Shadow full covering like you mentioned. Didn't want to take any risks because it's Guitarchi's weakest wave.
Yep. I think that's a good call there. And Guitar Cheese, of course, did leak, so that's -1 stack on the Sakura. But I think absolutely worth it to be on the high worker push that he's got so far.
Yeah, it's totally fine to play aggressively like this. And now the next question is, when do they want to go? Because, I mean, 9 is possible, but they both show a good answer for it with like Head Chef, and we know they have Avenger as well. And 10, like, Guitar Cheese has the Veda, the big gun. Like, honestly, 11 is like the first wave that looks like the game could be in trouble.
Yeah, 11
but it's also a bit of a
definitely
long
has
save.
potential. I think Shadow's very strong on 11 with those bucklers, with his Windhawks. I think Shadow may be the best player on 11, actually. Although
Looks like
Dryazaki does have Wanderers and Lord of Death. There's certainly options there as well. But everyone's going for a wave 9 send.
Yeah, no long saves, just one wave skips and tryhard from the left team and Income King from the right.
So let's have a look, because Otika is on value here, and with the head chef as well, he's looking very, very strong here. And Dryazaki with the Avenger, also with lifesteal. I think Dryazaki and Otika can both just hold against these tryhard sins.
Yeah, they're not at too much risk here, I think. And slowly their income is actually scaling because they're not sending tryhard.
Yeah. And Shadow still treasure hunting, that's very clutch there for him. So even though he has lower workers than anyone else in the board, his total Mythium is keeping up nicely. Actually, he is starting to fall behind a little bit now against Otika, but he's holding his own despite like a clearly lower worker count.
Yeah. Playing to try and enable Guitar Cheese a bit with the Sakura game.
And we see Otika easily holding there with the head chef, and likewise for Dryazaki. So maybe a bit of an unforced error there for Shadow and Guitar Cheese. Going for these tryhard sends, they will start to fall behind in income.
Yeah, I think I would have been totally okay with them just trying to scale a bit because, I mean, Guitar Cheese is already on highest workers and has been.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't just skip altogether, honestly, and go for like a wave 11 send, like you say.
Yeah, if they were gonna go for a tryhard send, I think saving and seeing what was the plan. I mean, Otika is overbuilding quite heavily here. Maybe just expecting the resend.
Yeah.
Staying 11 workers and just getting the big gun.
They also have to play safe, right? Like with 41% king damage, they can easily die here to even a moderately sized leak.
Wonder what their plan is, because with these worker counts, they should probably go for a long save as well. Like, honestly, if you can see 14 already for against Shadow and Guitar Cheese, it's like honestly a pretty good wave, but I'm not sure they're willing to save that long, and they aren't.
Alright, income there from Dryazaki and Otika. Shadow almost but not quite leaking the no send, and they do skip. Okay, so this could well be the turning point now with Dryazaki and Otika feeling under pressure. They go for the income sends, but Shadow and Guitar Cheese are not sending here, and they're taking the aggressive spell. So with this income send, they're under no pressure. Shadow and Guitar Cheese can save pretty much as long as they like now. They really have Otika and Dryazaki exactly where they want them.
Yeah, very surprised the Guitar Cheese actually goes PTA here. Like, the only reason I can think of doing that is, like, you really want to send 12, and then you can get Rem and income, but otherwise, like, Vamp would have been pretty juicy for this build. I mean,
I think both
the steeds aren't the best butcher target, but...
Yeah, both Vampire and Protector are amazing on the Shadow Dancer.
Right, yeah, the Protector is scaling off missing HP, right? So all the clones are getting super high value from it.
Yeah, I think the clones actually heal more from Protector than they do from Vampire, because they don't deal that much damage, right? And Vampire is like % based.
Yeah, and I think they'll be fine. Yeah, okay, so they are going for the 12 send. This is actually like it's like a cheeky Shadow Wings play, right?
Yeah.
Someone has a gun and you're like, oh, they can't send me 12, but if you send them a Ram, you can send them on 12.
If I'm ever playing Banana Haven, I know Shadow Wings is sending me on wave 12, because that's just how he rolls.
Yeah. Then they're not ready. Oh, they are ready for it. They actually do send income.
Okay.
And they have defensive spell. I wonder if there's something in the role that can kill a Ram, but he's probably gonna go for Mudman here. It's the safer play, I would say. And they are. It is Mudman here, and what is it
Oh,
for?
that's a bit of an
Dusaki?
interesting position on the Mudman there.
Yeah, generally we like to put our Mudmen up front just so
Yeah.
they can utilize their
Oh,
defensive
he's actually
stats.
building the Avenger here, so he is
Ooh.
fully falling into Shadow's trap there. He's building for wave 13, not hardening his Mudman, because he could have
Oh,
made
wait.
a hardened column here.
Wait, this gun is off taking the ram and a creep.
That's
That is actually
pretty insane, yeah. And now it's going to
The
defend
gun is
itself.
7 stacks.
Wow. Okay, that is solid positioning there from Otaka. You've got to give him credit for that. But the fact that he made the Avenger there and didn't harden his Mudman means he will leak. But he would have just easily held this with a hardened column, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he just needed like a second longer, and then the life
Yeah.
binder gets more value, healing the golem, etc. But wow, that was actually kind of slick.
Yeah,
Corner gun working out.
that was really good aggro there from Otaka. I'm going to have to jot that one down, I think. Oh, but is it still enough? There's one more spell. No!
Oh.
Victory.
The king just couldn't hold on.
Yeah, victory there. Shadow and Guitar Cheese. So Otaka with the insane aggro, meaning that he only leaked 58% to a 480 Mythium send, but it wasn't quite enough. And this is really mind games at practice, right? Like, you look at Otaka's build there on wave 11. Wave 12 is his strongest wave pretty much in the game. So of course Shadow goes, I'm going to send there. Otaka, knowing that wave 12 is his best wave, expecting the send to come on 13, pre-builds the Avenger, which will be a Sovereign then on 13, which is pretty solid. But of course the send comes here on 12. And that means he's not prepared, he doesn't have a hardened golem, he leaks where he would have held, and that's GG there for Shadow and Guitar Cheese, taking a quick 1-0 in this first game of the series.
Yeah, they made some pretty solid early game punishments. Like somehow Shadow just all part of his plan leaking on 4 sets up a huge 5 hit, and they basically have control of the game after that.
Yeah.
Even though 7 and 9 didn't work perfectly, they still found the right line after that.
That wave 5 was crazy, actually. So, like you say, yeah, Shadow 125% leak there on wave 4. Like, not able to kill the dino was really, really damaging for him. But it just makes the wave so long that they can get these enormous sends out on wave 5. And that's just 56% king damage dealt against the Doomsday duo. And from there, they're really fighting an uphill battle. And it's one that they would
and then
eventually lose.
Utica didn't have the right read because the wave was so long. They thought it might be 6 still, because Gun has 6 as a weak wave as well, and didn't want to build Golem there,
Yeah.
or the Green Devil upgrade, both of which would probably hold better than the Butcher. So some tough decisions to make when you get saved on always.
Yeah. I think their wave 9 was maybe a glimmer of hope for the Doomsday duo. But yeah, the fact that they just weren't prepared for that wave 12 send is good, but that's why Shadow makes these calls, he wants to get into the heads of his opponents and do what they don't expect.
For sure.
Alright, well, that was a pretty exciting game number 1. So let's find out what happens in game number 2. Is our lobby available? And it is, so we can hop into there. And everyone is ready, just waiting for this clown to arrive.
Fashionably late, some would say.
Oh, so what do you think? Offmer, can Druzaki and Otaka bring this one back to a tie? Or is it going to be a 2-0 for Cheesy Wings?
Yeah, I think they've showed that they can play to survive. They just need to figure out polish up the builds a bit so that their mid game is a bit cleaner, and obviously don't take 60% king on 5. It's probably important as well.
Yeah, that always helps. Yeah. One thing worth pointing out is, of course, it's conquest mode up here in Division 1. So Shadow cannot play lock-in, which means he can't guarantee his rats, and Guitar Cheese can't play. Was it Cash Out he played last game?
Yeah, I think so. Chaos Spice. Oh, and
Oh,
what a nice chaos opener.
that is a pretty juicy Chaos opener. And Shadow is on Cash Out here. And Shadow gets Priestess and Mask with Cash Out. I mean, is he just the most skilled gamer of all time? He must be.
Yeah, he even has a good answer for 7, and he has options for 10.
Yeah, that is an
Yeah.
incredible role that Shadow has there. I think the chances of Doomsday Duo evening out this series just got slightly lower, just off the basis of Shadow's role.
Yeah, luckily it's nerfed, but yeah, it's still quite strong.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I would have picked this role, I think.
I think I
Like the
would
Halo
maybe
for
have taken
10.
the Nightmare instead of the Halo for Shadow's role.
Okay,
But
fair
I
enough.
can see why he would pick the Halo as well. I just think Nightmare covers more of your weak ways, right? You want it on 7, you want it on 10, you want it on 12, whereas the Halo's only really good on 10.
That's fair. And they both share 14 as a weak wave.
Yeah. All right.
Doo-doo. Okay. Oh, going for Nightmare over Casket Angler. Kind of surprised. I feel like Casket Angler is so flexible, especially with Chaos, because you can kind of just build whatever crap you need.
Yeah.
And, but Nightmare also works. It's also a very flexible starter.
All right. Everybody sending their King Ops on wave 1 this time. There's no try hard skip from Shadow.
Yep. No rats this time. I mean, I'm curious to see if he'll play similar style with like full power mercs, because Photomask is a build that can really scale hard with income.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow has to realize the strength of his role, right? And there's really good spells for it as well. He can put Pulverizer on either the Azaria or the Halo. Those are both very solid options.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Speaking of roles, what do you think about the Doomsday Duo's roles in this game?
They're quite good. Like the gun roll is fairly decent. I don't love Gates with gun because they both need a lot of tank value,
Yeah.
and Gate isn't quite the answer for 13 you need. But otherwise, it's strong. Buckler, those are all great. Lacking like maybe a mid-game transition units that also does damage to only tanks. But
Yeah.
and then for Otika, like this is a pretty strong role. Like Gate Guard is completely insane right now,
And
and
Grawl is just
Warwick
the
gets
best
it
unit in
through.
the game as well.
Yeah, I mean, Grawl leads to an easy transition for Bunk to cover 8. It's a role that can just like snowball really hard.
Yeah. I think Otika's role is almost on par with Shadow's. And I know that seems crazy when it's Priestess Mask, but I honestly think Otika's role is very strong.
Yes, there's definitely potential in the reroll for something to take it over the top.
Yeah. Obviously,
Definitely
we
see
can't.
4 worker gun here.
Oh, Guitar Cheese is a very skillful Chaos player, by the way, rolling the Oathbreaker here on 3 to pair with the Nightmare.
Let's see if he's skillful enough to hold one Snell with this
Yeah.
positioning.
I mean, I have leaked this, but this is not the way that you leak. The way that you leak is when your Nightmare runs out in front and tanks the full wave.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit of a position that I don't think is that good if you don't have Butcher.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just go for the fourth column cool positioning.
I think
Ooh,
the
7 workers.
yeah, Shadow is really making use of this early game power spike that he gets from cash out, right? So that extra 22 gold, it doesn't seem like that much on paper, but it just means that he can always be one worker ahead of where you would normally be and still be safely able to hold.
Yeah, he's having some indecision between what to build here, but he goes for the Warwick, which should be fine.
Right, Shadow receiving a snail there, so just a little bit more feed, and full income against the Doomsday Duo as well. So they're not under a huge amount of pressure this game.
Yep.
We'll have to see if the Doomsday Duo can use the kind of lack of pressure this game compared to the first to their advantage. Like, can they mold this game in their own plan rather than just being at the mercy of what Shadow wants to do?
Yep. For now, it looks like it's gonna be some chill income.
Oh wow, this is just insanely skilled Chaos player, by the way, rolling the Sea Dragon on 5.
Yeah, that's quite nice for his build. It's just a really good answer for 5.
Yeah. I mean, currently this is just looking like a very good greed roll, but he's playing it with chaos.
Yeah, it's very solid. He's even got like an arcane tank. Not the best arcane tank to have in the split, but
Yeah,
it'll do its job if you don't upgrade it.
yeah. And that is the problem with the slimes, right? Like, if you have it in the split, you can never really upgrade it because it will never get full value.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have it in your main body of units, and that slime mommy gets full mana, she's just insane value for the price you pay.
Yeah, I mean it just turns like risky like situations into just full holds.
Yep.
It's so much value.
Alright, we see Katachi's 9 workers, Shadowwing's 8 workers, Doomsday Duo both on 7, so they are starting to fall behind somewhat.
Yeah, and Guitar-Chase and Shadow both saving. I'm not sure what they're looking for. Maybe just saving to put up some pressure and not actually go for a leak, but it's not unreasonable to send on 7 or 8.
Yeah. And Dryuzaki now having 4 seedlings on the board is not really perfect. Like, they just do 0 damage the first time Shadowwings finds the mole button.
Yeah, and they're not even part of the main units, so they're really just chilling in the split. But it should be okay. I mean their builds look pretty good on 7. I feel like the bigger problem will be 8 to a longer send.
Shadow though.
Uh-oh.
Shadow, 67% leak there to an income send. But this does just elongate the wave, right?
Yeah, probably just bad aggro if I had to guess, but
yeah.
I mean Priestess Mask is finicky sometimes on 6.
Yeah.
They're gonna go for the send here.
This mask is very high in Shadow's lane. If we have a look at this mask right here, I think maybe it just pulled too much to the right and the Priestess didn't tank.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a normal spot. This mask is half square lower than I would put it normally. So it actually, I think it's in the right spot.
Yeah.
It's just, you can get 5-1 sometimes or 3-3 and it dies. Probably 3-3 it dies, considering the Hellraiser was last alive.
Yeah, it must have been. So he must have just got overwhelmed. Maybe she just didn't protect herself.
That's the classic.
There's that mole that we were talking about. So the seedlings all did a total of 0 damage there for Dryuzaki. And the stimmed veteran, which would normally be shredding these creeps, doing less than it can, but it looks like it's still doing enough.
Yeah. Dryuzaki, the master of the vet stim, it seems.
Yeah.
Probably can't kill the mole, but the rest of it should be good enough.
Yeah, that's a fine leak.
Botica does another summon?
Oh, just an easy hold there.
Perfect.
So the Doggo and the Daphne in the mid will be able to hold the mole and the lizard. Gitachi's leaking 34% there to a lizard of his own.
Oh, he got Butcher. Oh, he's really just like, you can't even tell he's
the best Chaos player of all time.
like, he only showed 6 units, and it's fairly reasonable that he could have picked them.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, he has even decent options here too. I mean, I imagine he's just gonna get an Orchid here, but
I think if I'm Gitachi's here, I probably just place down the Grawl, because then you either have King Claw on 9 if you want it, or if you get some tier 6 that you want instead, then you sell the King Claw.
oh, he wants the Poda, it seems. Okay. I don't think he needs a Poda in his build, especially like early game Poda Nightmare don't synergize that well because like the Nightmare wants everything besides itself to be a tank, basically.
Yeah.
And then the Poda like tank's okay, but then the split always comes in and kills the Nightmare.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good preparation for the eventuality.
And Shadow with the Priestess of his own, of course, because we saw him open that unit. So now they're kind of opening themselves up on 10 a little bit, I would say. With Katachi, didn't really have to go Priestess there.
Shadow, I don't think the Doppel's going to save him on 10 if it were to be a long save, but it's actually just going to be a 9
They
send.
go for a 9 send. I don't understand that one, actually. Like, they both look pretty weak on 10, even with the 9.
Yeah, I mean, when I see this unit, it's like, I know in my heart of hearts I'm not leaking it without a huge send, so... And, like, they did see the shift for this Azure as well, so... They are confident in their ability to leak. Oh, is he not going to go for it?
Shadow's doubting himself. He's going for the Halo. Okay, so Shadow going for the...
I mean...
Building against the Wave 10 send instead, but still with the Alpha Male, like, he's not weak.
Yeah, it's not like he's bad. It's just worse than... obviously going Azaria,
yeah.
but... you can't be perfect reads every game, so he's getting a pretty big send as well.
That is quite a big
But,
send there. 260
goodbye in.
Mythium for Shadow. And the Imp
Maybe
is
it's
shredding that
the,
Alpha Male as well, by the way. That's pretty solid. And the Priestess is still alive? Okay, now it's dead.
Pretty good tanking though.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
say she did her job. Two heals of tanking. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. And obviously, I'm assuming Guitar Trees will hold.
Yeah, our resident
Oh,
Chaos
he's-
expert there with the head chef, the Oathbreaker, doing just
His
fine.
head chef is actually missing right now, but I think he'll be okay.
I think he's going to do
This
just
Oathbreaker is actually cooking.
Yeah, he's still got a Sea Dragon there, healing the Oathbreaker so it lives forever. And that is a pretty comfortable hold there for Katachi's.
Yeah. Not a full cover, but good enough. Now, let's see what we go for some more income. I mean, that's fair. Shadow's also still weak on 10. That's actually a decent like line where you undercut someone's weak wave
And then resend.
with a big send and then resend,
Yep.
and they can't push anyways, so
And that
it's
is
all good.
That is a large number of snails there being sent by Ottica, hoping to confuse Shadow's Radiant Halo. So again, for anyone in the Twitch chat who's not fully aware of the units, the Radiant Halo has a ramping damage attack. So it does exponential damage the longer it stays on a single target. So by sending multiple small tanks, Ottica hopes to keep that unit away from the boss for as long as possible. And it will just do way less damage than it otherwise could.
And it's a very good spam answer to Mask as well. Like, obviously, perfectly, you just want one target for the Mask to hit, but otherwise, a bunch of small fortified tanks will also be very good against it.
But that is almost certainly going to be a leak from Shadow. And if we have a look at Guitarchi, he doesn't have that Doppel here on 10,
Yeah,
but
he's
has
also
he got
going
enough
for a
value?
small leak.
Not quite, but I mean, he's doing just fine there, honestly. 44% leak, and Shadow
wait.
actually holds.
Oh, okay, the False Maiden actually, the last second was still in front of the Halo.
Yeah.
So it's actually very nice positioning. Put it underneath the Halo.
And that's the difference between taking 5% king damage like we saw and taking 20% king damage. So
Yeah,
pretty
I
nice.
mean, the bosses on 10, especially with the tenacity change, they're just chomping away at the cam. They already were, like, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah. But they're just
Um,
deadly right now.
okay. Pulve for this. Pulve, I mean, everyone has pretty good Pulve targets.
Yeah.
Low-key Pulve gun can be kind of risky, but it is good enough as a damage source. It's just like sometimes you stun the ram, you stun lock the ram, and then you never hit the ram with your other units, but it's like less rare than, when you put Glacial on the gun.
Not a fan of these double protons here in front of the priestess. I understand why he wants to keep it alive on wave 11, but I mean, you just have to sell both of them next wave anyway. So why not just build
Yeah.
one?
Are they going for the Shadow Wings Classic? I mean, there's a boosted vet here.
Yeah. Have a large amount of
Okay.
Mythium. Shadow will be able to send a Siege Rem in income. And the Pulverizer gun, by the way, this is really worth talking about. So with Pulverizer on the Vulcan cannon, what happens if Shadow sends a Siege Ram is the cannon attacks the Siege Ram, stuns it, it stays behind the wave creeps forever, pretty much, because it just gets chain stunned. They don't send here though, but let me continue my ramblings. So let's say the Siege Ram just stays here, getting permanently stunned by this Pulverizer cannon. All of his melee units attack the wave creeps, and his two super long range, super high damage Pierce units are just attacking the Siege Ram by themselves forever, essentially.
Yeah, it can be pretty dangerous, and it's like the same thing as with Glacial. I mean, obviously the Glacial is like 100% guaranteed it's gonna happen. With Pulve, like, maybe you don't stun the... maybe.
Yeah.
You get unlucky and don't stun it, and then hopefully it's in time, but yeah, it can be quite risky.
Yeah. Alright, so when will these sends come out?
I would imagine
13
it's
is
just
the answer.
13.
Yeah.
It's the safest strategy.
We have
Okay,
four
Four
eyes
Eye.
from 3 of the players. Shadow still chilling with his Mythium currently. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't send a Siege Ram though. So he doesn't? Okay.
Alright. Goes to answer the gates. That's fair enough.
Alright. I think I actually favour the Doomsday duo in this scenario. We have got Hellgate there We have the Pulverizer Azaria, the Pulverizer Vulcan Cannon, both very high attack speed units, pretty much deleting whatever unit they attack from the wave.
Everyone's value is so bad. I don't think I think you should just sell to build another Daphne. Like, I don't think this gate guard is doing that much, but
No,
let's see what happens.
It's not doing
Double Four Eyes trying to snipe the Azaria with one of them. I've never seen this actually
both
work.
Four Eyes go to the right, so that Azaria is safe, but will it die to the wave creeps? The answer is no, the Azaria is staying alive.
Yeah, that's just perfect.
Wow,
I mean,
okay.
the Four Eyes are good against the tanks, but
Yeah.
you sent it with the intention to kill the Azaria. Because
Yeah.
if you don't kill the Azaria, this is very likely to happen.
Big
Or it's
leak
just
for Druzaki though, 81% there. And Ottica not quite holding. He did very, very well there, killing everything but a single Four Eyes. Meanwhile, Shadow leaks 50%, but that's only one creep and one Four Eyes. And Guitar Cheese is going to leak a Four Eyes of his own. So
Yeah, I think the gate like looks promising. Just the fact that you have 500 plus gold invested in the Vulcan makes the gates just that much worse because you don't have tank value.
well,
And obviously Vulcan being horrible on 13 doesn't, help them out. But they do get some king damage. It's not the worst trade of all time. They still have a very good angle to win this game.
I think Shadow
Probably.
and Guitar Cheese both just did really, really well on that wave. Like, I kind of thought the Doomsday duo would hold better than they did. Ottica did very well, but Druzaki leaked very hard. And I thought that Shadow and Guitar Cheese would do worse than they did as well. They both leaked very small, and they were on super low value as well. I don't know if you saw, but Shadow was just above 2k, and Guitar Cheese was about 2.1.
Yeah, they were both like minus 300, minus 400 red, so that's quite a good hold. And we see some spanked. But some tantrums being prepped for 15. I mean, the values are quite bad for everyone. Like, they'll probably be like same amount, like 300, 400 under if they don't send.
Yeah. It seems like
But,
quite
I
a
mean-
starved out game, right? Like, nobody has massive income, nobody has crazy high workers, and all of the values are really starting to drop off now at this midpoint of the game.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with sitting here, even into these great builds. They're like this Azaria plus OT build, like in my heart of hearts it should hold, but it is not on high value. It is like minus 300 something.
And the Doomsday duo, they're expecting themselves to hold here, and there is no Ocean Templar. I think that
I
is a
do
mistake.
not think you go for this.
Yeah. You need to undo this Hellgate. You need to have that Ocean Templar here on wave 15.
Yeah, OT plus Canopy, that would be so much value.
It's just absolutely broken, right?
Yeah, I mean, healing the Canopy, the Gate, the Veteran, and the Buckler, which are all serviceable units here. And the thing is, you also replace a Grawl.
Yes, she actually has the gold. Like, if she didn't do the Hellgate, she could get both the Ocean Templar and the Canopy just by selling a single seed.
But maybe since Otika's got double Azaria, they're confident
Double Azaria.
Otika's hold, so they built for 16, 17.
Yeah.
I mean, double Azaria onto the boss already.
Just one-shotting the boss there.
Yeah, I mean, he can't play.
And you just see with Ottica, who does have the Ocean Templar, like, his melee units just never die.
Yeah, I mean, they just let his DPS cook.
Yeah. Okay, Druzaki there leaking 61%, but Ottica with the big hold and an easy cover in mid as well.
Decent 16 into these builds. I mean, like 17 is better, but then you might get into a race where your strongest board is the weakest player. Like, you don't necessarily want Druzaki to be the holder in a race, but it looks like that's what they're going for.
Yeah, they're going to go for a 17 send. So now we need to see just how skillful Guitar Cheese is. Will he roll the Mudman, the Banana Bunk, the Great Boar on wave 17?
Yeah, I mean, if he truly was the best, he would pull it out. But he's actually building for. I mean, it's not the worst unit on 17, but yeah, his build without a skillful roll will suffer for sure. I mean,
Absolutely.
Shadow's gonna have 3 tantrums and the what's it called, the Dread Knight. So
Yeah.
not bad on 17 per se.
They're not bad, but they kind of rely heavily on tanks, and the one thing that Shadow is lacking really is tanks.
Okay, King Claw or a Gate Guard spam. No Mudman.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, the 4-eye button is being hit mercilessly.
Okay. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think this ogre button would be pretty good
I think the
against
ogre button would be
Shadow.
pretty solid as well. Yeah. I
Yeah,
also think
the
that
Dread
Four Eyes is
Knights.
just quite bad against Katachi's, who has this like spam of arcane units in his split.
Yeah, I mean to be fair, I don't think it matters, but it's too much Mythium. But in a
Okay.
race, it does matter a bit to have speed.
And
Okay,
we
let's
have
see if Druzaki can hold because they're super far under, but they have the best units of all time.
yeah. This is a pretty solid combo. Like Hellgate, Ocean Templar, we have the Red Eyes, we have the Pulverizer Cannon.
Literally, the only bad value on this wave is like these two units.
Yeah.
Like it should be
I mean, Otaka's
a
not
lot
bad
more
here either.
impressive.
Like these Harbingers with the Ocean Templar aura and the
Yeah, they're quite
Kingclaw,
good delay.
and they can just
I
survive
worry just
forever.
about double Azuria is always sad is always risky because of 17, but the send isn't huge, so
And these ends are huge. 900 and
Yeah.
940 against Shadow and Guitar Cheese, who are both 1,000 gold under recommended value, by the way. So
yeah, I think they are collapsing a bit faster than they want, and the gates are.
there's no
Are just gonna
value
be too
there
much.
from the
I mean, you're
Templar.
right. These harbingers are actually cooking.
And Yatta! The Doomsday Duo, they do manage to bring this one to a tie. Very well played, those guys.
Yeah, like the early game was a little come and go, but they got some nice damage on 9, and then they got a nice opening on 13 where the game wasn't clear, and then that 15 skip into the hold. Really well played. I think Shadow and Guitar Shoes should have had a little more faith in their builds.
Yeah.
But again, it's not the easiest read to make because they could go for a hard push. It's impossible to see these things if the other team is hiding them. So.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And they both, I mean, obviously Otaka did incredibly well on 15 there with the full hold and the full cover. But even Dryuzaki with the double Hellgate and no Ocean Templar did surprisingly well, only leaking kind of a mid HP boss and a witch. There's a solid performance there from her. And like you say, just this absolute killer blow there on wave 17 with the 900 plus Mythium sends being all she wrote there. So excellent
in
play.
retrospect,
Excellent play by the Doomsday Duo, bringing the series 1-1 to a nice tie. And that does mean that we get to see game number 3.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it should be even spicier given that they all have to pick something new. Although I do imagine Otika and Druzaki might just do a little swapperoo.
Switch up the sending order, you mean? Yeah.
Oh, I just mean they'll
Oh,
pick they'll swap masterminds with each other, so it won't be too exciting, but something new at least. I do think that in retrospect they could have went for a Sui play on 15. Because Guitar Cheese is worse there and Otika's the best there. But again, also a hard play to make when you have such a good 15 build. Like you don't really want to commit to the Sui.
Yeah.
Because this might be the only way you die as well.
All right, I'm pretty hyped to see the outcome of this series now. Like the first game, I think could have gone either way actually. The second game definitely could have gone either way. That was a bit of a roller coaster, that one, and only really that kind of decision to send on 15 by Shadow and Guitar Cheese sealing their fate, if you like, sending on the strongest waves of Otaka.
You're right. They did swap the send order.
Okay, so they want Dryuzaki sending into Shadow, and Otaka thinks that he can handle the Shadowing Starve. So these guys are not messing about. They're straight into game number 3.
Yeah,
let's
we
get it
did a
on.
little mastermind swapperoo. Oh, Poda Mask. Dryuzaki just borrowing Shadow's role, I guess. Shadow has a pretty nice options here. I mean, he has the Pack Rat, and he has any synergy. He like a bunch of different ideas for roles. Play around the gates. He can play around the big bunk. He can play around a big green devil. Personally, I feel like I see the rat, the Grawl, the bunk, the gates. Maybe I'm not sure what after that, but
I
those
think
units for sure.
when I look at Shadow's role, I see absolutely incredible late game. Like insane late game with the
He
Ocean
has
Templar, with
battle
the
scars
gates,
too.
with the Chieftain on either a Gargoyle or a Bunk, whichever one you prefer. Battle scars, like you say. But his
Yeah,
early game is really rough, actually.
yeah, I've never played this specific opening he's going for. I saw Slickens try it and had a bit of an incident, but I think he himself probably just made a mistake.
Yeah,
Honestly, I personally like would have just played Grawl Pack Rat and go for Bunk.
yeah,
Because
I could
with
see
Grawl,
that.
if you go Grawl Bunk, you're already gonna stay 4 workers, so the Pack Rat basically bridges you to something that looks like a 5 worker opener in terms of Mythium. And we see from Otika a pretty strong roll as well. Got the Tempest Firelord synergy, which is can go crazy with the battle scores or the pull, either or.
Yeah.
No great fortified tank, unfortunately. Like the Gate Guard is okay, but he's more of a hybrid
Yeah,
than a
he's a
true
bruiser, right?
like.
Like you want him to take a little bit of aggro, but he just gets more and more value the longer he stays alive. If you
Yeah,
get
Guitarchis. Back to Sakura with no clear 7 solution, but value is always a good solution.
yeah,
So, and Shadow is quite good there if he gets the bunk out, so there shouldn't be any big worries.
Shadow is just scary as well when he has the pack rats. I think one of the reasons he hit rank 1 on the ladder is that he's been giga tryharding with those pack rats. I actually think he's been playing lock-in on the ladder, which is slightly illegal. I don't know if you're allowed to play lock-in on the ladder, but he got results, right? So you can't shame him for that.
I think actually Genome was playing Lock and Wrath last season as like an experiment, and he thought it was quite good.
It's definitely good, and I think it's probably better than ever in current patch, where like early game leaks are just so meaningful. With the tenacity changes, like King is, it feels pretty weak against medium-sized leaks in the early game, and the pack rats just really help you with that. And they also help you preventing those leaks of your own, right? Assuming that you call the hunts correctly, you can just have so much bonus value on the waves where you expect to send.
And he is going to call this one correctly. Goes for another pack rat actually, hunts. And actually no one sent on 3. That's actually pretty rare, but looks like they'll all just go for some income.
I think is playing a bit too scared here. So she has the False Maiden with the Priestess on 3, which I guess would be fine, except she's receiving from a Sakura. So you know that you have a low worker opener sending into you. You probably don't need to play quite this safe, let's say.
Yeah. And it didn't really help since her gold is kind of awful here. I think, honestly, you would have rathered to just build a mask and like maybe cheat out a Grawl here. So that you can go for like an early Azeria spike. Because now you're just building some like random garbage, you know, some random tier 1s.
And this is really because
fine, but...
she's giving too much, like overestimating Guitarchis' Mythium, basically. So she's way more scared than she needs to be. She's receiving from a very slow opener. And I think that Ryuzaki could easily have been 7 workers already.
Uh-oh.
Especially with cash
out. What's going on here?
Oh, which one are you pinging?
Sakura, goodbye.
Oh, Sakura died. I came over, I didn't even clock straight away, but yeah, that's a dead Sakura. Guitarchi is not having any units there to tank, so the double ranger sure is good damage. But they don't keep damage away from the Sakura, so that's minus 15 value for him.
Okay. He thought this one would tank for it, but the range of the Sakura is a bit too low. Yeah. So I think you just go for you want to just go for the Warg there.
Yeah,
it's just a lot more consistent.
I think Warg would have been a guaranteed hold.
But ooh, look at Shadow here, pretending that he cannot see Ascend here, which is, you know, a very good read. I mean, I would never send 5 into these units, but there's also the mind game. It's like, oh, well, of course I know he's going to double hunt here. His units are too good.
I would most likely have sent a Brute here if I was Ryuzaki. I quite often do, because like the normal tech with Chieftain, Green Devil, when you don't have rats, is to full shift on 5 and get the Chieftain on 6. So it's usually quite rewarding if you send a Brute into that when they full shift, because then they can leak really hard.
Okay, but we just see income from everyone. Guitarchis again on highest workers. has the cartel to support that, so we should expect him to be ahead. Shadow just goes for the Grawl here. Slightly worried that this chieftain randomly falls over and dies, but I think it should be fine. Oh! Oh! Oh, brother! I don't know if I'd be confident at the double hunt here. It doesn't, I mean, he's calling the 7 send against the Sakura, but it's gonna be the 6 send against him.
This is gonna be a bit of a leak now for Mr. Shadow, I think. Just a little bit of a leak. Oh, but does this priestess die? The priestess is down, I repeat! Priestess is down!
No.
This is going to be a bit of a leak for Dryuzaki as well, so evening out that leak that we see pretty much guaranteed in Shadow's lane, and there it is, 88%. And that's going to be goodbye Sakura again for Guitar-Cheese. So
his Pilgrim got run down somehow. Like, the Grawl just refused to tank.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some wave 6 magic, as we expect.
And that
I think you could have played it safer maybe with the Grawl, like you just straight up put it even split. And then that way you're guaranteed to have like at least one creep get pulled onto the Green Devil. But it's a bit unlucky. I think the Grawl should tank there, but what can you do? He gets the bunk out, he double Hans. He's honestly not in a bad spot just because of the rats. Like he literally has the highest total Mythium.
You have to bear in mind as well that the mistake costs his teammate a stack on the Sakura.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
After a while that does add up, right? Like it's not just the 15 value, etc., etc., but it starts to make Sakura miss her important breakpoints.
That is for sure very true.
Right, we've got everybody saving their Mythium now, and Guitar-Cheese and Shadow, they for sure have a lot more in the bank compared to the Doomsday duo, so they're hoping to make something happen, but when is the question?
I mean, 9 is like the most obvious, like promising send. I don't think you want to send into the Tantrum Priestess on 8. If it's untantrumed, actually, like I remember, if you get Mimicking Income against that build, it's actually very hard to hold with the non-tantrum mask, but in this case, no problems here. And it's gonna be 9. I'm assuming. I don't think they want to save longer than that.
Oh, and Dryuzaki is full building here, which means that she will struggle to get that King Claw out on 9, which I think is the only way that she can hold. Yeah, she's full spending here. She's not shifting any gold at all, which I think is a bit of a mistake. Like, this is clearly her strongest wave. I think I would like to have seen her shift, 50 gold or so here just to guarantee that King Claw on wave 9.
Yeah, I think just going Wanderers in the split even is fine, because you just need to leverage your build towards not this wave because you have the Tantrum. And like, as long as you build some value, like, it will hold because the mask is so strong.
Yep.
But big sense. I mean, 6 workers sending an Ogre, the magic of rats.
Yeah, rats are already broken, dude. And Shadow gets that Soulgate out on wave 9 as well, so he's looking very strong here. We may even see him go for a hunt because he's overvalued already.
There's, the same thing about not getting a King Claw out. These 2 units are not quite as good as
there's one King
Big
Claw.
Brother.
Yeah. I think if you ever have like 2 unupgraded Growls on your board, you've probably made a mistake.
Yeah, somehow the money should have been leveraged into something better. But
so this is going to be a big leak for Guitar-Cheese, but like we said, Shadowwing should easily hold this one. And meanwhile, let's have a look at the Doomsday duo.
They're getting the beatdown from the Ogres, it seems.
They are getting absolutely run down, and so Dryuzaki did not manage to get that King Claw out, decided to go for double Wanderer instead, which is solid, but it's just not even close to the same power level as a King Claw.
And Shadow with the easy holds. Just got the best units, the best value.
The easy hold, fully covering his teammates' leak as well. And meanwhile, we see infinite king damage dealt here by the leaks of Otika and Dryuzaki.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And now all the momentum is... all the pressure, all the momentum, it's just a very hard game to win.
This was, 93% and 60% there for the Doomsday duo, and that means they have lost 61% of their King HP. So again, we're back to the similar situation that we had in Game 1, where Guitar-Cheese and Shadow can pick and choose which wave they want to send on, an even kind of medium-sized leaks now is going to be GG. But here we have post-income sends. So there's going to be a Mole from Guitar Cheese, a Hermit from Shadow. There's also been a resend from Driuzaki and Otika. Is anybody going to hold this?
I guess Hermit is the best we can come up with here. Yeah, like the 80 myth, yeah, there's really not much you can do.
I think Hermit's pretty bad into Otika's lane because the Leviathan, it doesn't take any of the Leviathan damage away from the boss.
Looking at the wrong.
Yeah,
I guess just going for Snails is probably fine.
Yeah.
Or Dino.
But Driuzaki leaks there. Otika holds, but not by much.
Wait,
Ooh.
they got him with the cheeky resend as well.
Yeah, so the Snails there, too much for Guitar Cheese to deal with. And we got a clutch hold there from Otika, so they're still going to take a bunch of king damage there against the small HP leak, but so are Shadow and Guitar Cheese. So this one actually went from, I'm going to say, pretty heavily favoured from Guitar and Shadow to
like low-key it's
damn
winnable.
Close. Yeah. Like Jules is saying 55-45 for the win percent chances. I've got to say, I agree with him, actually. I think this is a really close game right now.
Yeah, I mean, the only downside is, like, Driuzaki's very low workers, but, like, the cred and the build might be good enough to make up for that.
Yeah.
Like, the income is still fine, somehow.
Yeah, she's not
It's not gonna be fine
shifting
next time,
for
but...
Creditor, though. Only going for 119 gold shift. So missing out on a bit of that potential there, but, I mean...
Battle Scars... Okay, Zing.
And a Pulverizer there from Otika, who can't quite decide what he wants to build it on. I guess it's going to go on that Phoenix.
Yeah, I think I would have just rather went Cred over Battle Scars here if you're Guitar Cheese. I feel like you already get free value from the Sakura Living.
And
But
when do we
it's not
expect
bad.
this next send to come in now? We have...
I mean, probably 14 if you're Shadow and you're just plus value every wave.
12.
Creding. Oh, okay, I lied.
Yeah, I mean, we see that Otika has Leviathans, which means that Shadow has to go wave 12, as we discussed in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, there's Wanderers for Driuzaki's. I mean, everyone is...
But this time, Driuzaki and Otika are not going to be caught off guard, so Driuzaki going for the Azaria here, and full building, by the way. So remember, she has got Creditor, but she's not going to greet, or maybe she's going to greet the 88.
Yeah, I would say this build is an auto hold, but actually, like, these units are not in the split, which is... And this Azaria isn't gonna tank quite as much as you want, but, I mean, Tantrum here, it should be fine.
Otika still not placed his Pulverizer yet. Okay, now he does. Okay. I'm glad of that, because there was 2 seconds to go before he placed it on the Fire Lord. Alright, the 300
the Ogre just
sends...
going left is not very good. And the Fire Lord not tanking is also not very good.
Now the Fire Lord full tanks, but that's definitely not what you want. And neither of his Harbingers got a second summon. They both died after only one doggo. So that will be a leak from Otika. Driuzaki, how are you doing? Now it looks like it's time for Driuzaki to hold. We get another heal on the Azaria. We do. Can it hold against the Ogre? Not quite.
Ooh,
I think this is enough to kill them.
Holding very long.
Shadow's holding a very long time with very low value as well, it has to be said. 1745.
I think he also shifted for Cred here.
Yeah.
Because he just feels so strong here. With,
this was so close, but we have to say, GG well played there. Cheesy Wings with the 2-1 victory over the Doomsday duo. But man, this was a close series.
Yeah, it was a very tight games, and this like cheeky resend on 10 actually.
Yeah.
Made me doubt everything.
Everyone with the cheeky resend on 10. All 4 players going for that, and Otika the only one who holds.
Honestly, if Shadow wasn't rats, like that resend would have been also like 120 sized and probably would have killed them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he was rats and didn't hunt, so then his myth was just not quite... even though he pushed like 9 workers, he just didn't have the generation during the wave.
Yeah. Because a post-income Mole there from Shadow is very different to a post-income Hermit.
Yeah, for sure.
It tanks the Leviathan and the Tempest passive, and also just reduces all of that damage as well, right? Like, the Mole is a very strong send here against Otika, whereas the Hermit, it just does not do the same job. Like, sure, you're healing the boss a little bit, but you give the Tempest Leviathan free reign to just slaughter the boss, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah. in the end, Shadow and Guitar Cheese, they do take this one to a win.
Yeah, really nice stuff for them to secure it. And a good fight by Otaka and Ryuzaki for sure.
Yeah,
Those
this
were
one
all
was
very winnable games.
100%. This was a very, very close series. And I think like split second decision making, just making all of the difference here. Like maybe if Doomsday go for Income King on 12, they can survive. Maybe if Otaka goes for a second Leviathan instead of this Harbinger on 12, they almost certainly hold then as well. Or
Yeah.
even something like a higher split, right? Just dragging the Ogre away
Yeah.
from his Harbingers might have been enough. So 25 gold more to raise the split could have just done it there for them. And it really does come down to these split second decisions when the games are this close. So, yeah,
sure.
very well played to both teams. But in the end, Shadow and Guitar, they are the ones who will be moving on into round 2.
Indeed. And looks like pretty juicy round 2 is coming up as well.
Ooh, should we have a look at the bracket?
Indeed.
Who have
Honestly,
we got?
I can't figure out who's on some of these teams, but I'm cross-referencing with the teams list to make sure.
Yeah. All right. Division 1 bracket, how is it looking here?
I see one accident here. Toykin and SSP being taken out by Team Halo.
Ooh, who's on
Valis
Team
and
Halo?
Lemon Rush. Oh, okay. It's Valis and Lemon Rush. I think they're. I want to say one of them won Div 2, but I could be lying.
Yeah.
But I have played with Valis and he's not bad, so I'm not surprised that they're able to pull something out.
And they're going against the Ram on 7 Enjoyers, who is Wazo and Isolde, right?
Yeah, those guys are actually Ram on 7 enjoyers.
Yeah,
For sure.
that could be an interesting one. So we could possibly cast that one for round 2. We could also cast the instigating shitbags against Tropical Escargot. I think that would be a good match to watch.
Yeah.
I think I Am Shaker versus Shichizi Wings would be maybe the closest match there. Seed 4 against Seed 5.
Yeah.
So
for
just
sure.
in terms of the caliber of game, I think that might be the best one. But we have already watched Shichizi Wings in round 1, so maybe it would be better to cover one of the other matches.
Yeah, I'm totally down. I want to say down to cast any of these.
Yeah.
Like I think they'll all be quite good games.
All right. I think we should take a quick 5-minute break while we just give the players a time to rest in between series, and we can decide which of these games we're going to cast in round 2 in the meanwhile. So guys, don't go anywhere because we will be back with some excellent Legion TD2 action in around 5 to 10 minutes. Goodbye. All right, guys, we are back, and we're going to have another exciting game coming right up. I think we're going to go for the instigating shitbags. That's FC Lucy and Drakea, and they will be playing against Tropical Escargot, which is none other than Skills and Papai Zaita. So this should be a pretty good matchup. Any favourites, Offmer? I think this should be an easy one, right?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta say that the instigating shitbags are the favorites, but you know,
no,
Papai
I would
and
say
Skills.
this is going to be an easy one for Papai and Skills, the tropical
Oh.
duo. They've got this one in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some stuff cooking always.
Okay.
They play so uniquely that it can be kind of annoying to play against them if they don't int. But there's a high chance of tropical inting as well on the menu, which could be fun to watch, of course.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to watch no matter what. And we've got to say, like, Drakea and Lucy, these guys, they're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? Like, they always perform really well in the tournament, almost always making it to day 2, quite often making it to the final. They're still yet to win one. I think they played in all 12 tournaments last year, or 11 tournaments last year.
They didn't play as a team in every tournament, but I think they individually played in all of them.
And they played
for sure.
Maybe like 8 or 9 of them together, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think only the first few Lucy was sandbagging by trying to carry some random American guy on her team, but
and Drakea was playing with Slickins back then as well, right?
Yeah, that was what was there? Block Build and Starve. Yeah. That was a great team for sure.
That was amazing. Slickins is just so much fun to watch. The guy, I don't know where he gets his energy from, but I could use some of that every now and then, I'm telling you. But this is going to be a pretty good match either way. I don't know. I haven't really seen Drakir and Lucy play together that much lately. It seems that their ladder duo has been put on the back burner, but
Yeah, I
certainly these
mean,
guys know how to perform when it comes to tournament games.
end of season, they had some. They couldn't duo basically because Drac was too high rank.
Yeah, yeah,
But he
yeah.
was,
And
trying to get rank 1 and stuff. And obviously, started the season, Drac's been on a TFT adventure as well. But
yeah,
I think they've been trying to grind a bit this week. Got some games in, so hopefully we'll see something beautiful.
yeah. I've got a bit of an anecdote for Drakir actually. So bearing in mind that this guy started playing what just over a year ago, like back in October 21.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's been playing for around a quarter of the time that I've been playing. I recently went off into the Discord to show off the fact that I'd got 20 hard carry badges. So that's 10 wins in a row. I've done that 10 times. And I was proud of myself, right? Like 10 wins in a row, good achievement, done that 20 times altogether. Pretty good, pat myself on the back. Drakir comes in. This guy, bearing in mind he's played a quarter of the time that I've played, he has 40 hard carry badges. Like, what is that, dude? What is
Absurd.
that? But
I
guys,
have 1.
you got one. I mean, one is still solid. One is still solid. But enough rambling from the casters and self-congratulations, because here we go. It's round number 2 of the January Nova Cup.
Ooh.
Instigating Shitbags versus Tropical Escargot.
Yes, Star. And he's got Consort.
Very, very solid.
According to Jules, on the highest 2200 and above Fiesta win rate starter.
I can certainly see why. It's incredible on 1, guaranteed to leak just 2 creeps. No.
Oh my god.
What are you doing with the
He,
Pee-wee?
he has like the soul read.
He's expecting the snail from Lucy. But the
Yeah.
Pee-wee doesn't do very much against a snail. Like, I think it maybe lets you kill 1 more creep.
Like, I think if it goes in the split, it's probably a bit better aggro because I don't think it does much damage. But I've seen some secret dark classic tech where you can put the consort here and a buzz here, and it actually still pro leaks 1 creep perfectly.
Really?
But I mean,
But
now we're
all
just
of
making
this.
stuff up.
All of this is irrelevant if Lucy doesn't send a snail here,
Yeah,
which I don't think she will with a pyro start.
I mean, and she'll instead be eating this tropical
Oh,
escargot for
That's 6
breakfast.
free gold there. Skill, sell your Pee-wee! No!
Well, he's gonna be a bit sad about that one. To be honest, I don't think it's worth trying to gamble on a snail there. Like,
No, I don't think so, because like the Pee-wee doesn't make enough of a difference to be worth the risk of holding to no send.
yeah, and like getting snailed is like whatever when you're Fiesta. To be honest, like
Yeah.
I swear, like you think you win the mind game, it's like, well maybe now they just have more time to send your teammate like a Dino on 3. It's
Yeah.
like,
I wonder if he still
didn't-
just goes 6 workers anyway, though, because maybe by adding the Pee-wee, Lucian Drakir, he doesn't have the gold, he can't go 6 workers.
that's actually like a PV versus Buzz diff.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lucy's gonna snail because Drakir is going for his patented egg.
Ooh, 3 worker
think-
egg there.
Probably one of the players at the top of the ladder who actually is most willing to go for Growl egg.
Yeah. Oh, and there's
And,
a
like-
snail from Skills. Everything going the way of Drakir and Lucy so far this
Yeah.
game.
And he's cash out, right? So he evens 3 workers. Like this. Honestly, I played this twice with the Drakir doing a little coaching, and it's honestly felt pretty good.
Yeah. Now, Skills at least will leak this time, I believe. He didn't go for anything
Yeah.
else in the split, so guaranteeing that leak there. 50%,
Quite
of
good
course,
for
he
him.
kills 1 with the Death Rattle with the Consort, so it's only 42%.
Ooh, and Pied making the right read to go 6 workers as well. Oh, it should be fine. He has Infiltrator, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Infiltrator, Cartel, like no way he doesn't get it.
Yeah, but the hold on 1 is really detrimental to Skills' game plan. I can't stress enough just how much of a difference that makes there, because he doesn't get the long wave 1. He gets less gold by holding as well. Like
Loki, he's gonna hold if he builds this Sea Dragon, I think. Well, maybe not if he has it not tank. Yeah, it should be fine like this. And Lucy's sending him full anyway, so it's chill.
3 snails should be enough to leak him here, but again, he's Fiesta, he wants to leak.
Yeah. And Papai, Drakir not going for a full send either. And he's going to be just fine. Like,
Oh,
the
he's
Sea Dragon
easily
positioning.
holding against a snail and a king up. Yeah, he's got his full egg there, the Hydra popping out on wave 4, he's in a good place. Skills
a lot
leaking a
bigger than I thought.
surprisingly high amount. Yeah, 73%. Like, obviously he's going to leak, but that seems quite high.
Yeah, like this archer is getting taxed. But honestly, this archer rule is quite good, I would say. Doomsday isn't like my favorite like top end unit to pair with it, but it gets the job done. The Infiltrator is like the key part because these two units in combination basically are enough damage for every wave in the game. So, see if he's ready for the reset from Drac. I don't know if Drac's gonna go full here, but like there is a play where you go 60 against Elite Archer tier 3 unit because it's almost always a shift here.
Yeah, and we do see that. So Papai is shifting 70 gold. Oh no, he's actually being safer than he needs to, I think. And Drakir not full sending, so Papai kind of punished there by the build and the boost.
Okay, if you're looking at these builds, I feel like if you're trying to win the game, like you just go 7.
Yeah, but Skills is going to leak really hard against that. With DT just deletes his Sea Dragon. You can see that, how quickly it dies, and it doesn't kill a single unit. So 88% there for Skills.
Oh my god. No one look.
Yeah.
Someone has taken off.
Oh wow. Lucy with the 9 workies.
Yeah. Because she knows she only's planning to get the Zerker on 6. Not like an Avenger or a Bunk or something like that, so she's actually just gonna say like, I'm just gonna push. And a little more income Drakir giving the drip to Papai.
9 workers was not enough. You pinged too soon, my friend.
Yeah.
FC Lucy has 10.
Yeah, and like poor Papai with the archer like getting left behind because he has to get the Orchid here, or he's not safe.
Choice.
But
Drakir's still not full sending, so we can imagine. I don't know, when do you go next? Because Papai can almost certainly shift on 6. Like he can shift full on 6 if he wants to get the Trinity Archer on 7, and then he's just perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's risky for sure. I think Drakir should just skip and then play the game. Like, I don't know if he needs to go for a leak, but just to put some pressure on Papai.
Yeah, they can
and force him to keep
right?
overbuilding.
Like
yeah.
They have the income, they have the workers.
And nice read by Lucy. Now, this is an easy hold for Skills. Even though he's 100 under, he has 2 Sea Dragons, which is way too good on this wave.
Yeah, and likewise, he's really vulnerable on wave 6.
Oh, Lucy does not care. Lucy deciding he's also vulnerable here if he doesn't make the right read.
Yeah, let's see. Papai, will you full build or will you not?
I mean, just mind games, right? And if you're Papai here, like you should build. I think. I think it's actually quite risky with these 2 units to shift. Like you can leak to income quite badly, and this is not going to be income.
He's shifting. He is. He boosts a little bit, but he is shifting 100 gold.
Boosting actually means your archer is even more dead.
Yeah, the archer's going to get 1 shot, right?
Yeah, I mean...
But the archer does very little damage, so...
Yeah, he's sniping the Nymph at least, but... Yeah. He's going to go for a bit of a leak, and I think as... Their 2 veterans are actually quite good against the Imps.
They're quite good against the Imps, but they're very bad against the wave.
It's the wave, yeah, and... So this is going to be a lot of king damage.
Oh, yeah, this one's going to sting. So everything so far has kind of been fine, although clearly in favour of Drakir and Lucy. But this wave 6 leak here is just too big. They're going to lose way too much king HP. And the instigating shipbags, they just have a comfortable lead now, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy put the Rockos as their monuments, and they're just destroying the enemies for her. Let's see what the game plan is, because Papai has a lot of myth.
I've just seen some random guy in Twitch chat say, I low-key feel like Offma likes the word low-key. Just low-key a feeling, though. How do you feel about that, Offma?
Pretty low-key about it, to be honest.
Good answer. Alright, we've got the Tropical Escargot saving their Mythium. That's starting to look like a scary amount on Papai. But what does Papai want to do? Because he can't send something like a Ghost Knight against Lucy on 8, because with the
Yeah.
Berserker and the Daphne, that's just going to get shredded. Like, Ram would be ideal, but he's never going to afford one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is. It does not feel like you can leak this build. Okay, yeah,
gonna be
that's
fun.
probably a better choice.
Yeah.
Just accept the losses, and Drakir has a nice preparation for 8 as well with the Tantrum.
Yep.
He's gonna
No.
try with the Mole, but I feel like if, yeah, Drakir just builds some tank value and has a good split. Yeah,
I mean,
and he is
Drakir's
upping
just
his
on
split,
1,000
so,
value with a Tantrum mask, right? Like,
yeah.
sure, the Hydra's kind of dead value, but he just has so much value that it almost doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, and I don't think the Sen is big enough. Like, maybe if it's like 200 plus, you can get him, but this is not gonna do. And they save their Mythium too. They're so confident. I mean, Papaya is the right read, pre-building for 9. This is another thing to note, when you build tier 3s, like, you know, think Wild Shroom or Orchid, and you build them in the 3rd column, like, it's really bad on 9, for example, because then when you build your actual tanks, like your Mudmans, your Antlers, like, you don't really like building in the 4th column most of the time, but you also don't want your Orchids to get focused.
Yeah.
So this can be quite bad where this split gets, yeah, I mean, it's a Pyro Flower on 8.
Yeah.
Honestly, acceptable. Okay, well, that's...
But Drakir does hold, and not only hold, he has a Slime
I
Mummy
mean, he's
there
full
with 4
covering,
mana,
right?
so yeah, he's just absolutely fine. Although...
Or actually, I forgot it's gonna drop aggro, which sucks,
yeah, but it's just absolutely fine. Like, the wave is very long, and meanwhile, Drakir and Lucy, they are giga tryharding here with crazy amounts of Mythium saved up and very high worker counts to boot.
Yeah, I think you can just send here. I mean, if you're like really want to kill them, you can just go straight 11, and there's no way they'll ever hold. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can also just go 10. I think that's acceptable too. Like, it'll be 320. Oh, okay, it's ramen income, no matter what. So
Oh, and they
Yeah.
still save. This is going to be a crazy send when it comes. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, they can go to whenever, really. I mean, Papaya's 8 workers. Lucy's not really under pressure. They have great 10 answers. There's
Yeah.
AoA even on the table, counterattack. I mean, when you see the bunk, you might think you just want to go 10, but
Yeah. But also,
mean,
even
Papaya
though
is-
Papaya has good units on 10, like, how does he deal with something like a Seed Ramp? Or a
yeah, I mean,
Kraken.
like, yeah, I mean, like, Drakir can just like click the most expensive unit in his thing that's a tank, and
Yeah.
it'll probably be good enough.
And meanwhile, Papaya is spending money every wave on this unit to boost, and here it
Yeah.
comes the wave 10 send. Yeah, there's Siege Ram from Lucy, Drakir.
Not quite Rem on 7, but it'll do.
It'll do, yeah. There is the
Oh,
Kraken that we talked about. Yeah.
There's
No
Rem
messing
on 7
about here from
enjoyers,
Drakir and
but,
Lucy.
Kraken on 10 enjoyers? That's a different story. I mean,
Yeah.
like, the thing is, like, this unit does a lot of damage to a Kraken and the boss, but, like, that is a lot of HP. It does not really matter.
We
I
have
mean, what can Papaya
40
build,
gold
even?
boost here from skills, but just not really any tank value.
That is not a good choice here. The
Yeah.
Leviathan buffing a unit that doesn't do damage anyways. Like,
And,
you really want to prioritize just either planes or some more tank value for the
yeah.
life banner to heal up, or just full consorts, the best unit on 10. Okay, well, there's upper split, but we're still hitting the Kraken because the Archer and the Doomsday
Yep.
are locked onto it.
Yeah, and actually the worst case scenario... Oh no, I was going to say the split focus, but it's just the Leviathan and the Trinity doing what
Yeah.
they do. So he does kill the
Luckily.
Kraken, but that's still a pretty healthy boss, and Siege Ram just now going down in skills lane. The GG
Yeah.
comes out there from skills, and yeah, this
Looks
is
like
a
the
pretty quick
Granddaddy
one.
will finish off the job.
A very fast 1-0 lead there for the instigating shitbags.
Yep, some fast and aggressive gameplay.
Oof. Yeah.
Not much to say. I mean, it started off poorly from that wave 1, and
Yeah.
kind of didn't change course.
I can't really emphasize enough how big of a deal that missed Fiesta was from skills on wave 1, right? Because Lucy and Drakir are both very low workers with this egg pyro start, and it just means that skills misses all of his thresholds. Like, he can't get that 6 worker before wave 2 starts, which he would have done if he fiested, and of course there's just so much more time that comes with the leak, and then he maybe would have been able to put some pressure on the egg on wave 3, right? But just because of missing that one Fiesta on 1, he then ends up having to go super risky to guarantee the leak on 2, and yeah, they just didn't make enough benefit from their early game worker advantage, and that just gave Lucy and Drakir the chance to catch up in workers, get these big leaks onto the Fiesta player when they send. Like wave 6 was huge, down to 33%, and once they see how vulnerable the king is, they just go, you know what, let's end this. Straight wave 10, 460 send, 400 send. Papai and Skills just never knew what hit them.
Yep. It's also really unfortunate they don't get the Fiesta long wave on 1 when there's a Grawl egg and a Pyro. Like, that really hurts.
Yeah, that really hurt. Alright, we have the next lobby open. So, I mean, I've got to say, like, if Game 2 goes anything like Game 1, then this is pretty one-sided. Like, yeah, I don't want to be mean to Skills and Papai, but they got outclassed in game number 1. So hopefully they can show us what they're made of here in game number 2.
They had no agency in the first game.
Yeah.
No pressure, no forcing any bad mistakes. Like, they got Lucy once on 8 and she really didn't care. She was so pushed already from the early game.
Yeah. Like, everything was just to the tune of Drakir and Lucy's game plan, right?
Okay, let's see. Fiesta, Cartel, as expected, and ooh, Cartel Fiesta. Let's see if Lucy can cook up something special. She has Cat as her best Fiesta opener, from what I can see. Unless you're of the Slicken's opinion that Bazooka is the best Fiesta opener in the game. And Skills has the right read, going for the Snail. He has Adams for his own Fiesta opener, so not bad. And Papai has some pretty nice options there. Although I will say, like, playing like Flower Harpy is a little risky with a Fiesta teammate because you can get punished for playing something greedy like that. And Skills is actually going for AoE Fiesta, which I think is probably a bit suicidal, but maybe he's got some hidden tech for it, where it doesn't just leak the whole wave when it leaks.
Yeah, but he doesn't really have other options. So he's playing it like a normal build, which, I mean, Drakir and Lucy certainly won't think that he's a Fiesta build when you see these two units.
Yeah, for sure.
And he will get a big leak against Lucy here on wave 1, right?
Yeah, the Snail is gonna, it's like 60 something, 70, 60, 70, something like that against the Cat. And the Cat always leads to some very interesting mind games. Like, on 2, a Cat with the split, it's like, it's already holding. It's like, but if they know that, they might sell their splits. And if you know that, they might know that, etc.
Yeah. I mean, a 3-stack Cat can hold wave 2 by itself, right? So.
Oh, did they? Oh, right, it got a little help.
So that's going to be a bit of a leak there for Lucy. And obviously, Skills easily holding with his Fiesta, but the shitbags are saving on 1.
Oh, filthy of them. I mean, there's a Sky Queen, so unfortunately, it'll do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skills has to overbuild here.
Imagine tryharding in the Nova Cup, by the way.
Absolutely.
Can't they just kick off on 1 like proper gentlemen?
Yeah, well, we're gonna see the Lizard and Lucy going for the super tryhard.
Oh,
save.
That is absolutely
Do we
disgusting.
go for another Snail? Oh, she's ready for the... Sold the splits and went for the Aqua, so it'll be quite strong on 3, actually.
I don't love the Seraphim here, though, from Skills. Like, if that's a Devilfish, it's just a guaranteed hold, no? To pretty much anything.
Yeah, I think it's just like he's trying to get the perfect, like, aggro, even though the Seraphim doesn't do great damage here. The position just means it'll be slightly better split aggro between them, because otherwise the Devilfish will tank like majority, which isn't horrible on 2. Like,
yeah, the Devilfish is a Swift tank, right? It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's actually got like insane HP pool, but I think either way it'll hold, so
Yeah,
not too
turns out
worried.
225 value of well-typed units is pretty good on wave 2.
Gets the job done here and now.
And Lucy actually going for Lizard here on wave 3. So she will get the 80 send. It's going to be Lizard double Snail. And the Lizard is interesting, right? Because it's clearly bad against the Sky Queen. But she's sending it against the Arcane tank that she expects to be built with the Sky Queen. But joke's on you, Lucy. Papai's building a flower.
Workers. Yeah. I mean, 4 workers, you're always going to hold. I mean, you can also play these 2 units and be 6 workers on this wave. But yeah, he got the early pressure and will try to go for the Sky Queen to cover his mate. And oh, actually, Lucy just gets a random post-income Brood.
Oh, interesting.
Which
and
is
how's she gonna do
a bit
against...
naughty.
Oh, the Brute is just dominating Lucy's Necromata.
Yeah, poor Caddy.
That goes down 61% there. Drakir, of course, holding, but the Lizard and the Flower is a bit of a slow 1v1 there.
I wonder, like, are they gonna look for a big 5 or big 6 against the Casket? Because, like, 80 Myth is kind of tempting to Sun on 4 because you don't want to starve too long, but
yeah.
like,
Dino
these units are quite
pretty good against the Casket as well, right? But, like, with the amount of gold Skills has, it should just be a guaranteed hold.
Okay, he goes for the Dino, just some income. Oh, he needs to get Daphne, sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fair.
And it's the perfect gold as well. He has exactly 1 gold remaining, so very well calculated there by Drakir. I guess there's a reason that he's always in the top 3.
Yeah. Mathematician.
Yeah. His solid understanding of basic mathematics is serving him well here in this game.
Of course. And Lucy going for the even splits, maybe anticipating another post-income surprise.
But there is no post-income surprise, so this time it is Skilled and Papai's turn to go for a bit of a tee-hee-hee.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-stack cat, but with the...
The Dino is doing its job here. Skilled, 83%
Deadly
lead.
Dino. Okay, so he didn't get the upgrade for the Casket, which just is the threshold for 4, right? It's 2-shotting the wave. But he's going to go to 8 workers here. There's actually a Brute onto Papai's lane. Kind of surprised. He's actually quite good here, but he's a bit low value because he pushed. I imagine he doesn't leak badly if he does leak, because it is 100.
Just does well enough here. This always irritates me when I look at Sky Queen builds, and they're just building like 5 or 6 waves behind the front of the wave. Like, is there a reason that you just want your Sky Queen to do less damage?
Yeah, it's they don't want to make it too easy for themselves, you know.
Yeah.
It's got to be a bit of a challenge for them.
And there's a post-income Hermit here against Skills as well, which, by the way, he's 385 value. He might be in a bit of trouble here, but that Seraphim staying alive after killing the boss is very clutch.
Yeah, the added single target makes such a huge difference, and Lucy's actually not even going to get Papai. I mean,
when
it's tough to leak Sky Queen.
How much value would you like to build? Papai simply responded, yes.
Yeah, no, they got the myth. They got some options now. The Mimic on 7 could be pretty juicy.
Oh, I mean, this is easily like Ogre on 7 territory.
Oh yeah, I think
It's wave 6 now, and they already have 160 apiece. There's resends coming out from Lucy into Papai. And Papai can actually go for a Pro League here as well, I think.
I think they might both be looking in Pro League territory. I mean, their units are just horrible. I mean, double Seraphim, fair enough. That's something I think you might need more tank value, but let's see.
Like maybe one of them could just be a Devilfish.
I wonder if Drac and Lucy will go for like, or I guess Lucy probably won't. But I wonder if Drac actually tries to leak this guy, because it's only gonna be the second form, the Casket.
Alright, there's that Ogre from Papai. Skills pulling the trigger a bit early there with a Mimic, because is Papai gonna Pro League? No, the Sky Queen's got this, right?
Yeah, I think
so. Overbuilt.
Yeah. Scaredy cat.
Papai could have stayed on 480 value there, even pushed 1 more worker, and then he probably is leaking 1 or 2 creeps. And then these sends become like, they go from scary, because they're already scary, to absolutely terrifying if Papai Pro leads
Yeah,
on there on wave
it's
6.
like Ogre Brute instead of Ogre like 40.
Yeah,
And like Mimic Brute plus, or like Mimic Hermit even.
yeah.
Something like that.
Mimic
I mean,
Hermit would have been absolutely disgusting. But the Mimic already is pretty dangerous here. The one thing I'm worried about
Yeah.
is the 2 Fire Elementals just doing infinite damage.
yeah, like no mole means that the Aquas just get so much extra damage off.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Mimic is literally the good typing against every single one of her units. So
Let's see the gold counter on this bad boy as well. 12 gold
Easy in.
there. Yeah. Yum, 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 yum.
But this hold is actually
There's
quite good.
another
Yeah,
3.
the double fire Aqua.
Oh, it missed one. I can't believe it. I think it got every last hit apart from that one last Fire Elemental.
Yeah, and they are gonna take a bit of king damage here.
They are
Like,
going to take a bit of
we
king
all
damage
know.
here, but
Ogre
Skills and
and
Papai
Mimic
both
on
leaking
7.
as well. Like, that's a pretty clean leak from both of them. They won't take much king damage, and I can't say the
all
same
blobs.
for... Yeah, the all blob leak is interesting, actually. But I can't say the same for Drakir and Lucy. They're going to take
Yeah.
quite some king damage here. And well,
It's like 55 king damage
Yeah.
for not the biggest leaks, but I mean, what can you do against Ogre on 7? Like you build full for the wave. You have one bad unit and you just leak everything.
there we go.
And now we'll see what the plan is, because Papai doesn't really have a weak wave until never 11. Like he can hold every wave until then.
Yeah,
So
but Lucy
we'll
and
see what
Drakir
they can pressure.
could just go 11 if that's what they want to do.
Yep,
Especially after
that's
this
for sure
resend
true.
here. There's a full resend, 120 Mythium into Drakir, which he easily holds there because it's 4 snails and 2 regens.
Yeah, I mean now Drakir doesn't really have a weak wave until 11 as well, and he has Haven
Yep.
for that. So
And even for 11, Papai is not presenting that much of a threat because he can't push while being starved. And, you know, he only has 40 Mythiums. He's got 100 less than everybody else in the game. This is a pretty juicy Fiesta here from Skills, though. That's a good
mean,
one. Into no sense.
that's one way to try and force a wave.
15 workers there on the Frenchman.
Yeah, I mean he's in a good spot if he's actually going to be able to send multiple times and keep getting long waves. He goes for pack here. I think it's fine. Like there's no good units against pack yet from Lucy. But you can also go for the safe and consistent, just like mole DTs or something.
Lucy has 100 gold here. Will she full build? Won't she full build?
She's thinking about shifting for the Fada, I would imagine. But
Yeah.
I mean,
But if she
instead it's
does,
just gonna be...
oh, she is going to shift, and Drakir shifts as well. Oh, but he only receives a fiend and 2 king ups. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
Drakir
think he'll
is
be okay.
fine, but Lucy on
Lucy
the
is
other hand
not.
is going to be. She's less fine. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Gil's also even got a Hermit post income, which
Yeah.
is just means you really aren't doing damage, and this
Yeah.
is quite a big leak.
I kind of question why Papai didn't go for a full send here as well, right? Like, obviously he doesn't have as much Mythium, but
Yeah,
if he does a bit more damage there against Drakir, this could just be lethal from Lucy's leak alone.
yeah, for sure.
I
Or
think-
just like skipping 8 as well. I mean,
Well, this is
this-
probably close to lethal anyway.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be another 20%.
Yeah, this was almost definitely game over if Papai sent full here on 9.
Now they're forced to go 10. It's not the worst thing in the world, but Papai has like some amount of tank value, some amount of damage. Okay, like skills is a bit doomed.
Yeah, Skills is in a lot of
He
trouble.
can sell to get the
Oh,
hell.
he just re-rolled for a Berserker though! He's absolutely
God.
living up to his name there.
I mean, that is just full pure skills. I think these should be double
And he does
fish
the
too.
devil
Nice.
fish. Yeah.
I mean, he actually is probably doing okay. I mean, the Centaur is gonna wreck those Zerkers anyways, but I would imagine that Papai actually does pretty
Oh, the
well. He has
Centaur gets
2
pulled.
halos.
It's going to get one shot by
Wow.
the Berserkers.
That's very fortunate.
Yeah.
Drakir is probably not that happy about it, but
And meanwhile, the
And-
double halo against the Granddaddy means
yeah, looks
Papai,
like it'll hold.
who, again, I'll repeat. Papai was asked how much value would you like, and he simply responded with yes. And it turns out
Yeah.
that 1580 is nearly, but not quite enough.
Yeah, now probably we'll see 13 as the next send. Or 14 even. Like if they choose overbuild here, they have the option. But the values will be low if you try and skip again. But I mean, the king damage helped. It means that Papai and skills are still one-shottable.
Yeah, they are. So 52% is still well within the danger zone. But Drakir and Lucy, they're 10% king HP. Like, they're not just in the danger zone, they are clinging on for dear life here. Papai is on tropical fire there, sending out the smoke signals.
Indeed, and he's got 21 workers, so they have a plan to end this game, probably on 13.
Yeah.
And
But Lucy's
I'm
very
assuming...
good on 13. Really good on 13. She's going to have boosted
Yeah,
rockets, she's going to have probably 2 fatalizers.
Yeah, I think that she can cover well enough, and it's not the Drac is pretty good on 14, so it's not like they have. I mean, Drac has an Avenger as his 13 answer. Can be good enough, I think. But Skills is going for the hold on 13, I would imagine. He's got OT Gates and a Feta, which should be good enough to hold. And Drakir is on the lowest workers out of everyone, so he's probably not going to be able to send quite as much. I wonder if Drak goes for the Haven here or not. 'Cause he has perfect ult for it, but I would assume he has the read that they don't want to send here, but he also might think that he needs to cover.
Alright, so Drakir and Lucy, I expect them both to shift here. And Lucy does re-roll into that Sovereign as well, so that's pretty good. Getting Titan onto the Sovereign as well.
Yeah, so they both go for 13 builds, good reads.
Yeah, but Skills and Papai are on those 13 builds as well. Double Halo, remember, from Papai, and there is Berserker and Hellgate there from Skills as well. Skills used his sacrifice already, actually. I think he sacrificed 1 Berserker here for the Hellgate on 12, so not willing to risk dying to an undercut.
And it'll just be matches and a race, unless someone pulls something juicy.
There's a Ghost Knight from Drakir, but this is really interesting because Skills is already pulling to the right with his higher split of the Polywalks. And the Ghost Knight is also just not great against a Fatalizer.
Yeah, I'm guessing he just didn't have, like, there's just nothing to send really with 240.
Please, Devilfish them! Devilfish them, please! You can do it, Skills! Don't leave them as Seraphim! No! You're killing me, Skills!
He's plus 75, maybe he's just testing his limits.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I would assume Drakir sent it into the split with intention, because he also sent a DT. So I'm not sure what exactly his plan was, but he had one.
I mean, he's just expecting to make the gate do AoE gate things, which it looks like it's starting to. But
yeah, I mean, the Berserker just
very quickly, so
one-shot
Berserker is absolutely dominating it, and Papai's doing very well. Here comes the GG from Drakir, and yes! The Tropical Escargot, man! After that Game 1 crushing defeat, these guys really brought this one back in style, Game number 2.
The Fiesta worked a lot better, and them holding that... Papai holding wave 5 was everything. Because if he leaks there, the game is just over.
Yeah.
Him holding there lets them get the big 7 send, and then... Nice read by Skills to go for this solo undercut on 9.
Yeah.
And then it allows Papai, who just overbuilds, holds 10, and then sets up for the 13 finish.
I don't know, I do think that was still a mistake there from Papai on wave 9 not to full send. I mean, clearly it was a mistake. Like, if he sends 100 and it's a Brute and a Lizard, they just win the game on wave 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's with hindsight. Sure. So we don't know that Drakir is not going to have the death cap on 9, and that makes the call to full send that much harder. But I also think like the full send on 8 was maybe a bit of a mistake from Papai as well. He's kind of taking that pressure away from Drakir. Like, sure,
Yeah,
if he
I
wants the
think
income, the 4 snails is fine, but you can save the 40, and then you've got
yeah.
140 send, and that's 2 brutes on 9, and that's just guaranteed victory, pretty much.
Yeah, I think when you have the opponent set up in that one-shot territory, you really don't want to give up. You want to give up as little of your pressure as
Yeah.
possible. Like you want to have max. You want to have the minimum. You want to send the minimum amount to build what you need.
Yeah. But in the end, like, it doesn't matter. They hold very well on 10, so they only take 30% damage there instead of just dying. And we see Drakir and Lucy with very low king HP there, dying to these really big sends on wave 13. So yeah, Alayla skills.
They cooked up something special.
Perfect timing. Drakir is not feeling patient today. He summons me into the lobby. And guys, we're about to get game number 3 underway.
So no Fiesta for skills. That's always... I'm always interested to see what he plays otherwise. And I wonder if Lucy will also go back to the Fiesta because she got kind of destroyed by the long saves.
Yeah.
But she had a good early game, just 7 into 9 was rough.
I mean, skills and Papai can just swap over, right? Like, Papai plays Fiesta as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Although, does he? Because Papai is definitely a value enjoyer.
I think he is capable of playing it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I'm sure he's capable. I just don't know if he's going to be as experienced with it as someone like Lucy or Skills. Well, we're about to find out. Twitch chat, here it comes. Game number 3, round 2, January Nova Cup. Instigating Shitbags versus the Tropical Escargot. Everything to play for here. Let's go.
Ooh, what a juicy options for Drakir. So it's just great from skills.
Well,
I mean,
Drakir
he could pretend
really
like he's...
does have options. Holy moly! I mean, this has just got Grawl, Gates, Grawl, Shadow Dancer, Archer in there as well. All the tanks you could possibly want to keep your Gates and your Shadow Dancer alive. This
and
is
his
a
opener can be so
fantastic
juicy
role.
too. He can have Casket Aqua, Crusher Aqua. He can choose it all.
Yeah, and Papai, I mean, all of the roles are just fantastic this game. Really good. Papai having the flying force there, but he doesn't take the Tempest. That's a bit of a weird one.
Oh, is he? Can you see his roll already?
Yeah.
Oh, now it showed up for me. What? No Tempest.
No Tempest to
Ain't
go
no way.
with the Windhog. That is a bit of a weird one. But I think the Ocean Templar Shadow Dancer is so strong that he just favours that even over the Flying Force. So I can't really fault him for that.
That is completely fair. And Lucy going for the greed as well, deciding that the Fiesta variance was not too lucky. Actually, she and Skills are like picking from the same pool.
Yeah, they're both feeling a bit risk averse in this game with everything to play for. Papai, can you tell me why you've added 2 buzzers?
He wanted to let them know he's ready for wave 2.
Yeah.
And he does the Papai special, save on 1 against the Aqua Casket.
Yeah, I think when you see Aqua Casket, you're kind of wishing that you just sent a king up like a normal person. Like, you
will be
can't
happy with
punish
the
it,
6
right?
gold.
You just can't punish that. There's nothing that he can do to make Drakir hurt in the first 4 waves, and there's no way he's saving straight wave 5, wave 6.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting. Like we have like mirror matchups, everyone playing the same build. So
yeah, actually, yeah. There's the Casket builds and there's the Green Devil Buzz builds. I wonder.
It's actually crazy that they both have Green Devil Buzz, and there's actually a slight difference positioning. Skill's going for a 1.5 lower split, so like really trying to make sure Concert doesn't ever hit a tank. And Lucy just going for 1 square down, which is good enough. Lucy actually got the snail here.
They both send snails. I mean, you do know that the Casket Aqua's not leaking, right?
Yeah, I think it was the 20 he saved.
Ah, of course. Yeah. Sorry. So a very easy hold there from Drakir, and Lucy will leak pretty small against the snail, but she will leak. But this is free worker territory now from Drakir and Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, the long wave doesn't hurt or help anyone because they all have the same units. Like,
Oh,
wait.
only
Oh, I
leaking
thought
one
she.
Greek. That's doing way better than I expected, actually. I thought Green Devil leaked a little bit more than just one.
It's some RNG in there. I'm pretty sure I've even seen a hold with like Green Devil Buzz, but
Really?
it's I've definitely seen one creep before because I think I've watched Boone also play this opener. Um,
All right, so
yeah,
Skills
everyone
obviously easy
seven.
holding here with his Green Devil and Consort on 3, and Papai
Yeah.
I also expect to hold there with his Casket.
Yep. Staying 5 workers is skills, so I think Drakil will be pretty happy that he just sent here. Like saving would have done not much. And with this send onto Drakir, he's just gonna
Oh,
wait, what's happening here?
is 3 snails enough? No,
No, no,
wow!
okay,
It
okay.
just gets the spell off on the Casket before dying,
Yeah.
and that means he leaks 2 snails instead of the entire wave.
Yeah, and Papai is actually only 5. Oh, okay, now he goes to 6 work. I was gonna say, like, usually with Casket you want to be 6 workers at least, so he gets there, and now we see some sends from everyone. Gonna be easy holds all around, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
even like 2 consorts, like, okay, fair enough.
This is the easiest hold in the world, and Papai has options, and both of his options hold the wave. He can either put
Yeah.
100 gold into this, or he can do this, and both is just a guaranteed hold. Alright, so we have Papai holding on to his Mythium now, having the most in the bank, but also the lowest income, worth pointing out.
Yep,
Drakir
fair
looking
enough.
currently very weak on wave 6. So I
Yep.
wonder if Papai goes for a big send there. We can see he has Gates and Groll, so he has got options.
Yeah, I would imagine he just goes Grawl next wave, and then it's you never want to send Dryad into a Grawl. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, that's also a good enough option when you have the Harbinger ready for next wave. And Lucy on 8 workers, Skills on 8 workers as well. Skills actually
Very
looks
nice.
kind of bad on 7.
Skills is also
Um,
kind of bad on 6, but he's showing the bazooka. He maybe
yeah,
could have
that's why
just
I would.
held that. Like, he's very strong here. He could have just
Yeah,
held the bazooka, built the Zeus out of nowhere on 6, expecting a send. But yeah, you're right. Like, now that he's shown the the bazooka, he's showing that he has something pretty strong on 6, which maybe makes Drakir go for 7, where he's looking very weak indeed.
and we're just gonna see some income from Pi, income from Lucy,
Income from
and income from
skills.
everyone.
Drakir is also sending income. Okay, okay. This is more of a gentlemanly game, you know? The players are going for
Yeah,
income, they're not trying too hard.
it's pretty chill, and I do worry that Drakir might fall off with the cartel. Like, obviously, it's helping him hit his breakpoints here, like get
Yeah,
out the harb, but he's not like he has a lead. Don't get me wrong, he's like 20 income up, but it's not quite like oppressive yet, and he has some big weak waves coming up. So
yeah. And Papaya didn't full send here, so he still has 40 Mythium in the bank, and
Mhm.
Drakir's not looking incredible on waves like 8, 10.
Yep, and I would imagine his plan for 8 is the Shadow Dancer, but then his 10 is also very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's lucky that he already knows that Lucy has 10 on lock. Lucy actually gonna leak to this income send.
Yes. And meanwhile, Skill doing just fine with that Zeus online, and Papai is holding as well. Once again, answering yes to that question.
Yeah, and I mean, hurts Lucy a little bit, but I mean, Skills is pushing very aggressively.
Oh, 11 workers on Skills, starting to pull ahead of the pack. Lucy with a mere 10 workers, hoping to keep up. I wonder if Skills full sends here. He will be able to send another 40 if he wants to. And Lucy, who, by the way, did push up to 11 workers, not to be outdone by Skills, is kind of vulnerable here to a full send. If Skills... No, but he goes for the double
Oh,
king
okay,
up.
goes income king.
Ah, man, the mind games.
Yeah, and I'm assuming Drac also sees that wave 10 is what this game might be about. because everyone's builds is looking pretty sus on 10 besides
Yeah.
Lucy's. We know that Skills has Disciple, so he'll actually be okay there. But if you're Drukir and Lucy, you gotta be thinking about 10 already somewhere.
And Drukir
I don't know
did
about
indeed,
straight 10, but
Drukir did indeed shift his gold here on wave 7, didn't spend a penny, in fact.
and here's a little boo-to-doo from Papai.
That's to be
Yeah,
expected.
I mean, you see this, you're like, should have full
Yeah,
sent.
2 snails there honestly makes such a big difference against Lucy's build.
Of course, this is the wave where Lucy greets.
Yeah.
Of course. But yeah, really nice read by her.
Yep, and she
and
doesn't
now-
push, crucially doesn't push into the 80 full send there, so she can build up to cover Drukir, who but he's actually looking pretty solid, right? Like he gets that Shadow Dancer out. He's on
think it's
930 value. Yeah,
It's
okay.
like Lucy just got a send, and somehow she's lower value, but
Yeah.
that's just because Skills is so push.
She's very strong here, though. Very, very strong.
Yeah. I wonder if Skills will actually go for the full send here. I would do it just because my mate is full sending, and I think it's good, but he chooses to just hold his Mythium, which is also an acceptable choice.
Mythium. This is still
Let's
quite
see.
hard. Oh, the Shadow Dancer clones magic damage, right? One-shotting them
Yeah.
all.
Not bad.
Oh,
And the Aqua goes
Harbinger.
down, but
I couldn't see if the Harbinger got its summon off in time or not.
I don't see another dog.
Oh, but
I only see
the main
dancers.
body is not taking aggro here, which means he's getting
Yeah,
infinite
he
clones
is.
for Drukir.
He is cooking.
Yeah,
This unit is quite absurd when you have enough value
yeah.
for it to get going.
Drukir popped off here for the Dancer.
And they actually do go straight 10, so that send on 8 actually gives them the go-ahead signal, like, now you guys are dead on 10. Or, well, not dead, obviously, they have 100 HP, but...
One thing worth pointing out is that Skills literally has double the income of his counterparts.
Yeah, I mean, this send needs to work, or else Skills will be in too good of a spot.
Yep.
But, Papai is the one suffering here. He's been 9 workers for half this game.
Yeah.
And he's not holding 10.
He is not holding 10. And they're going to have decent game upgrades. They'll obviously have full attack by the time Wave 10 rolls around. But I
Yeah.
expect the leaks to be pretty huge.
Yeah, and the thing about the king attacks right now is that they help for sure, but it's not so much about killing them on this send as setting them up to be dead on the next send.
Yeah. The tenacity changes really do change the pace of the game, I feel, in that way. Like, you can never really play for a one-shot anymore, so you have to get some early game damage in. And Drukir and Lucy are going for a 2-shot play, it feels like. They're going to get big damage on wave 10, or at least that's the plan. And
This
then
looks
they're going to
familiar.
go for like a killing blow on, I don't know, 14.
Lucy with a great pro league there. Like,
Yeah,
just,
really, really
just
strong.
perfect.
And I mean, this is just really hard now for Skills and Papai. Now, Skills
Goes for the
does go
Star
for the Star
Caller,
Caller, but that's just not it.
Best gold, I guess, but it's
Yeah.
really not as good as you want it to be on this wave. Like, you'd think it's like, it's the machine gun, like, best single target damage, but it really is just worse than 2 Disciples. But obviously it's less gold, but
But you know
yeah,
what
like,
he could
not
have
being
done?
able to get...
You could have sold a Green
Ooh.
Devil to get the Sovereign online.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good against this Ram.
Do you know why I know that? Because someone you might have heard of, XGod37, did just that against me in a tournament game. And I was very sad. I knew he didn't have the gold for the Avenger, or the
Yeah,
Sovereign.
but he had
But
the...
he sold the Green
the
Devil, and the
secret
Green
tech.
Devil is worthless on wave 10, right? So it's a pretty
Yeah.
good play. And we see, without doing that play here, Skills should have studied his X-God match history, it seems. He's going for a
Yeah.
big boy leak there, 75%, Lucy Pro leaks, and Papai, 106% leak there. But Drukir
Loki, they're also taking
leaking.
some... I mean, this is kind of bad, because this amount of damage also puts them in a one-shottable range.
They are one-shottable, but this is just infinite damage here against Skills and
Yeah.
Papai's king.
I will say one of them is looking a bit more one-shottable.
Yeah.
Like, although if you look at the size of the leaks, you would think Papai and Skill should be even lower,
Yeah,
honestly.
right?
But the tenacity definitely helping out there, and there's saviors, so
I
you
mean-
know, there's hope.
I think Savior has to be, like, just way more valuable this patch than it was in the previous patch, right? Because
Yeah.
that early game king damage is so important now to get your enemy into one-shot territory. And Savior just, like Lucy and Drakir are now back at full health pretty much. They can't be one-shot anymore.
Yeah, and poor Drakir is a bit suffering the cartel blues now.
Yeah, and after the starve as well, like his
Mhm.
value's just low, but they're going for some kind of
Wave 12 push?
yeah,
Yeah.
wave 12 all in, it looks like.
They went for the Saber for the gold, honestly, to push, and Lucy is going for another Pro League here.
Do you know what though? I absolutely love this from Papai. He shifts his gold skilled, also shifting 300. These
Yeah.
guys are both going to just have very high value on 12. Papai's
Yeah,
shifting for the Dread Knight. It already has a Butcher aura, it already has an Ocean Templar aura, so he definitely has pop-off potential there on 12. Oh. Skills is holding.
Yeah,
But just
I think he should be
barely.
fine.
Lucy's pro leaking, Drakir is holding.
That's got to be a little nerve-wracking. It's a
Yeah.
little test of, you're like, am I really sure that I'm holding with the shift?
I wonder if Skills and Papai send now as well. Like they have to be.
I think
like,
it is
Drakir
the
just
safer.
very barely holding as well. Like, they have to know
I think
it's
you do
coming.
send.
They have to know it's coming.
Oh, and here it comes.
Skills.
It's almost
and Papai,
2 ogres in income.
They
I wonder
haven't
if she'll go
sent
for it
yet.
if she gets it. Yep, 2 ogres in income. That's definitely what you need to break a Dread Knight.
Yeah, and there's a Needler from Drakir, and they're saving. Oh
Ooh.
no!
I mean, Skills got the hardened golem value, so they know it's here.
Papai, please, Dread Knight. Papai, you've
Is he
got
going
the
for
gold.
Kingflaw?
Papai, Dread Knight is the
Okay,
perfect
but,
unit on wave 12.
I think, well, for one, the King Claw should be, like tanking for the rest of his units,
Yeah.
instead of on the wall. Because I'm pretty sure, like, there's a world where this unit is dying before this unit. now.
Yeah.
But also, clicking the Dread Knight unit would have been pretty good there, I think.
They're just obviously not expecting the 12 send, and it's going to kill them.
And we go do some Panic King ups here.
Yeah.
Maybe that can actually save them with the Pyro AoE. I mean, the Needler is not very good against the Secret
The
Hardened
Needler is
Golem.
stuck on a consort and a hardened golem, so yeah, like you say,
There's
pretty
something.
bad
He's killing
matchup.
the left. Now
Skills
it's
is
going to
killing
start
most
cooking.
of the wave. In fact, he just kills maybe all of the
Full
wave.
it looks like. Yeah.
Papai leaking full,
mean,
not to be surprising
The
there.
thing is, the Needler will provide the extra king damage that they're looking
Yeah.
for.
I do think they survived this though,
Yeah,
and they've got
I
a
think
lot of
they're
king,
okay.
a lot of Mythium stored.
Yeah, I mean, skill's a little less because he blew the king ups, but I mean, Papai is, my god. Their
Yeah.
king is
That
chilling.
king
They go
claw
for the
was
sun.
just like it was just a mistake from Papai.
Yeah,
I feel like they
you have
had
to trust the unit.
They had to know the wave 12 was
Uh-oh.
coming after Drakir, and like Lucy leaks no send on 11. Drakir takes forever to hold, so you know he's super low value.
Yeah, can't Drac hold here because I mean, Lucy is.
Oh, Lucy
looking
hardened
pretty
all of her
bad.
mudmen on 12.
I mean, they both looking a kind of okay. Drakir goes for the King Claw here.
Yeah.
In a more forward position. The values are okay for Lucy, but obviously she has 4D hardened golems and no impact damage.
And
But
Drakir
of
has
course
a
the-
lot of fortified armor there as well. Like,
This
the King
unit
Claw
is-
pretty clutch, but
Surprisingly good on this wave because of the magic damage from the clones, but obviously the main form is still 700 gold of Pierce fortified on 13.
let's see if we can get a look at the main form and whether or not it is taking aggro. It's going down. He's not going to pop off.
Yeah, he doesn't get the full clear, and
Lucy
I
leaks
think they're dead.
101%.
right?
Meanwhile, Drakir
Or-
122. Do they die?
Are they tenacious enough, or are
Yeah,
they
I mean,
dead?
this one's pretty close. This is a big leak. They don't have many king ups, but they have got a lot of HP. So is tenacity overpowered? We're about to find out. Already taking 0 damage, but there's still ogres left alive. There's still wave creeps left alive, and I think
Yeah, I
they're
think
dead.
they're dead.
Tropical
Wow.
Escort, go! Allez, l'amiral! Incroyable! Sacre bleu, let's go! Skills and Papai winning this one on wave 13 with an incredible play there. Like, very, very brave, skipping wave 12. Some would say foolish, but Skills and Papai would say game winning.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for Drakir that his send just ends up being bad because there's a mudman hiding.
Yeah,
But it's a tough situation because I'm assuming he had just like Needler and income.
yeah,
Um,
he had the Needler, and the Needler
so
looks pretty good against everything on skills board wave 11. Like, really good against skills board
yeah,
wave 11. But obviously bad against Pyro, bad against very bad against Hardened Golem. Um, and yeah, skills holding well enough there. And also the presence of mind, like, they didn't send, and Papai built wrong for the wave, but
hmm
skills doing that full King Spell upgrade kept them alive. Like,
yeah,
they definitely
saved them for
die
sure.
if he doesn't do that. So very
Yeah, and
nice
I'm
play
I'm
there from skills with the King ups. And
I'm curious if Lucy and Drakir did the same. You know, they got full of king attack there. Like I feel like their king was actually very living a long time. It just wasn't killing anything. So I wonder
yeah,
if those king ups might have actually saved them there.
maybe, right? I think probably if they have full King upgrades, they can survive. Like, maybe the attack on its own might not be enough, but with spell as well to kill all of
Yeah,
the low HP leaks and the imps and stuff like that, then maybe they can survive. But yeah, skills
it's
and
always
Papai.
tough giving up your pressure though. I'm
I mean,
assuming they were thinking pretty hard about whether or not to save there.
yeah,
Because their builds look horrible on 13, to be fair, but it's also, like people always go for like often go for the guaranteed, like they sent us, we skip one more waves and then send.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And
Even
that's
like even if your builds are good, like we just have too much myth done.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All let me check if Shadow is still in the tournament match or is he just playing ladder. But yeah, I mean, that was just absolutely incredible play there from Skill and Papai. And I mean, you've got to say that's an upset. Like,
Yep,
they're quite
for sure.
significantly lower rated than Lucy and Drakia. And game number one was just very one sided in the favor of the instigating shitbags. But Papai and Skills, they really pulled it out of the bag there. Game number two, close fought, but they still managed to come out on top. And game three was just wow. Very, very well played from those guys. Very
Yeah,
impressive stuff.
for sure.
And I think all of the games have ended now, so that might have been the only
Ooh.
one that went to the full best of three, which is great. But it does sadly mean that we're coming to the end of the Saturday stream. So, guys in Twitch chat, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I certainly have enjoyed it. This has been some very, very good games on cast today. Just need to let you guys know that we will be having the finals tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Same time tomorrow. We've got the Twitch drops draft back on. We've got all the new emotes available, the follower emotes and subscriber emotes as well. Anyone has a Prime sub that they're not doing anything with, feel free to spend it on the Legion channel. Money goes to the devs, and you'll get yourself some shiny Legion emotes, which are pretty cool. But yeah, we're going to have some amazing games tomorrow. If today's games were anything to go by, like, this is going to be some pretty hype January Cup. We are definitely back with a bang after the hiatus in
Yeah,
December. So yeah,
6 close games, like
yeah,
very exciting stuff.
and that's day one, right? Like, day one, you maybe expect
Yeah,
games to be a bit more one-sided, but both series go the distance, best of three games. Both series, like, really edge of the seat stuff. Just very high quality gameplay for the January Nova Cup. Offma, it's a pleasure as always having you casting with me. It really makes a difference having a smart guy like yourself, even though you're not playing Legion currently, and we need to fix that. We need to get you back in the game, please. But always a pleasure
thank you
to
for
have you
having
on
me.
the casting couch.
Yeah, I love watching these games and casting with you. It's great fun.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I think it's about time to wrap up the stream. Once again, massive congratulations to our winners today. I'm very, very happy for the Tropical Escargot. They're a bit of a favourite of mine. I kind of love watching Skills on stream when he does. So I'm very happy they make it through to day number two. And really excited to see what day two has in store for us. Just before we go, big shout out to all of the tournament organisers. can't really understate just how much work those guys put in behind the scenes to make sure the tournament runs as smoothly as it does. So big shout out to American Honey, Natto Dog, Schnerd, and of course the developers of Legion TD2, without whom none of this would be possible. So guys, make sure you tune in same time tomorrow for the finals of Nova Cup. Goodbye.